and welcome to the award-winning, yes, I'm going to milk it for as many times as I want, Absolute Football Podcast. And it is our Absolutely Lower League show, the show dedicated to everything from the EFL Championship, League One, League Two, the Vanarama National League, Vanarama National League North and South, and for this week, the FA Cup. And we love the FA Cup, but as much as we're not in it,
we are.
I still love it. Woo! But I couldn't do it alone, and I brought some pals with me. And first of all, Sam, the EFL man. How are you? And how's your week been? And wearing orange, just do you like me?
I am indeed. Hello, Shah. Hello, everybody. I thought I'd come and join our lovely Thursday crew. I think I was on for the last FA Cup, actually, the FA Cup first round. So, yeah, I'll have to just do every single round, just all the way through. I'm here. I'm in my orange. We are supporting Uncle Nick. We'll leave him to tell you the reason why, but we're here in our orange. This is my tennis top. I usually wear this to confuse people at the net with sort of like it's like goalkeepers do with the bright tops to try and mask the fact I'm not very good. But it's lovely to be here. I'm very excited to join you. How are you as well? How are you doing, Char?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm excited to talk football, as I mentioned. No FA Cup game for us this week. Obviously, we were set to play Tamworth, and they obviously are still in the FA Cup. So it's a nice stress-free podcast for me. I can adopt teams. I can just enjoy the ride. So I'm really excited. Jen, how are you and how's your week been?
I'm good. My week's been all right, except I woke up this morning. I've got a really horrible pain in my arm. But other than that, I'm doing all right. We're in the third round and we're going to a Premier League club again, which is just insane. Like, generally insane. So can't wait for January now because I know we're probably going to lose, but it's the experience, especially with like everything going on off field. It's a great time for the backroom staff, a great time for the fans, the players. The players on Instagram were just absolutely thrilled when it got pulled out the hat because I was watching it and I was like, Liverpool versus Aki, I was like, oh, come on, we're not going to get a big team here now. And then he pulled Chelsea out and it came out and I was just like, oh my God, okay, it's happening. Like, it doesn't feel real yet, but hopefully we'll know tomorrow if we're on TV or not.
Hope so. Fingers crossed. Honestly, when I was watching the draw, because even though, right, it's one of them with me, even though we're not in it, I just love the FA Cup draw. Yeah. I don't know why. Like, any draw, I just love. I just sit there and watch it. So if there's any draws going on anywhere in the world, you'll see me watching it. Don't know what it is. It just excites me.
Yeah. It's good fun. It is. Even if you're not in it, it's just good to see, obviously, the lower league teams get the big clubs because for them, it's cash that some clubs desperately need. So I think, especially for like Tamworth, like you said, incredible for them. I think that's going to be a TV game. It has to be. And I just think for them as a lower league club, that money could generally sort them out for the rest of the season.
100%. Ben, how are you and how's your week been?
I'm the opposite to Jane. I'm fuming. Like the one time the week that Bromley getting to the FA Cup third round, obviously you and me could have had Newcastle away, and that would have been one of my dream ties. But then again, Jen's got the dream tie I always wanted last year when we were in it. So yeah, I mean, enjoy every second of it, of course, but I'm only going to be a little bit jealous about it.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit sad as well because obviously now Liam works for the club, so he's obviously going to be going behind the scenes and getting all that stuff, but then going to miss him in the stands with me and my friends. It's just one of them, but I know he's going to have an incredible time behind the scenes and he's going to remember it for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I love that.
Apart from that, week's been okay. Yeah, football-wise, 4 points from 6 this week, so, you know, it could be a lot worse.
Ooh, love that. Last but not least, Uncle Nick, thank you for being here. How are you and how's your week been? We don't have to talk about football if you don't want. We can make a podcast about something else, about draws if you want. I'm an expert.
No, actually, I've had a fairly quiet week, to be honest. So, yeah, not really much happening, just normal day-to-day stuff. Weather's taking a turn for the worst at the moment, so goodness knows what the weekend's going to bring. FA Cup. God, what could have been? What should have been? what isn't, But no, I'm pleased for Aki. They've got the draw that we could have had, so fair play to them. If we miss 4 penalties in a game, you don't deserve anything, do you? Simple as that. So that's what it is. About sums up our season. Going to get worse, but there you are. We'll talk about that in a while. I've got the orange flag up, so life is orange.
We love orange.
We'll come on to that in a bit more detail, I'm sure.
We love the orange, but of course it's not just us, because it'd be so boring if it was just us. We've got Luke in the chat. He's put, all right, everyone, time to talk about some lower league. We have got as well Chris, who's doing his usual Sky Sports news, so thank you for the updates. We've got Graham, he's put evening, everyone. We've got Dietrich as well. She's put evening all. Hope everyone is well today. We've got Michael. Thank you for tuning in. He's put evening. We've got Simon as well. He's put evening, everybody, or everyone, should I say. We've got Aled as well. Michael has put evening, everyone. Leamington away on Saturday. Yeah, it is the FA Trophy for a few of us National League clubs. Johnny has put, hey guys, have a great show, and just want to say it was a hard one against Sunderland, but we are top of the league. I had to get that in there. Ant's not on today, so you could say it. Chris has put, Heather will be happy. Bournemouth are 1-0 up, 17th minute. Ooh. We've got Glenn as well. He's put good evening all. It's really nice as well that they're all talking amongst each other. I know I say it every time, but it just proves what a community we're building when they're all talking and interacting with each other. I love that. And we've got Kyle as well. He's put good evening, legends. Thank you. Thank you. Johnny has put stuck in work again. Aled has put what FA Cup? Exactly. What FA Cup? Let me get FA Cup draw for Cov versus Sheffield Wednesday is like guessing the Christmas present you don't want again 6 times in 13 months.
That's the Lynx Africa set for Glenn, unfortunately.
Wow. I mean,
the thing is, the reward is you don't get us this time, so I'd be taking that as a win.
As well, Glenn has put Leamington versus Rochdale in the FA Trophy on Saturday. Callum Stewart is going to score the goals to knock Dale out. Oh, thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Thank you. We're going at me already. We're not even into the football properly yet. We have got as well. Michael has put, hopefully not. Glenn wouldn't want to go all that way to lose. Dietrich has put, she's not put anything. There we go. Honestly, I'm gutted we're out, but so happy for you, Jen. What a draw that is. Aw. She's so lovely, isn't she? She's our favourite, and we're not afraid to admit it. She's our favourite, everyone in the chat. Take some tips from Dietrich. Chris has put a happy Friday, everyone from Melbourne. He's our Oldham fan. We love Chris, though. We love Chris, to be fair. Lucas put, we could have had Leeds away if we were in the FA Cup. Simon got an absolute naff draw in the FA Cup. Dietrich put as well, after mentioned Josh Wood celebrating after the draw. I loved it. I did. What a video. It was so good, weren't it? Graham's put, everyone buzzing about their FA Cup draw and we get Preston away. At least you're still in it, though. At least you're still in it. Cornell, hello Cornell, hope you're okay. He's put, hey Charlotte, good evening from Cornell. Hope you're all right. Any others? Cheers, Charlotte, love you. And do you know what? Michael's asked about our thoughts on our new signing. I'm not too familiar with him, to be fair. We've just signed because Aaron Henry was talking off air a little bit, got injured. So we've signed a midfielder from Barrow, but I don't really know too much about him. So I'd like to know your thoughts as well, Michael, if you do know much about him, because I'm not really familiar with him. But yeah, we do have to talk football, but don't worry, Uncle Nick. Don't worry. You don't have to talk Swindon yet. We will start with the Championship. And Sam, I'll come to you first because you're Sam, our Championship man right now. Any standouts for you on here or any you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm in doing a poor man's imitation of Ant, unfortunately, this week. So I try and cover what I can.
You have to put the accent on now, Sam.
Oh, it would be away the Blackburn. I'm going to talk about Blackburn. I think Blackburn obviously beat Leeds, and that's 3 wins on the bounce for Blackburn. So I want to kind of highlight them out. They beat Middlesbrough away. The last game, and Leeds as well. They only lost twice, obviously. John Eustace, I think, is doing an excellent job there at Blackburn.
Yeah.
If you go back to the start of the season, I think us and a lot of people had them as potential relegation candidates. Everyone was concerned about what might happen with Blackburn. They had Sammy Smodic looking like he was going to go, and then he did go. And I think there was question marks where the goals, etc., are going to come from. But they seem to have spread the goals out amongst the squad. There seems to be a mix of people that are scoring. They've had defensive injuries, but they're up currently, I think, 8, when I looked earlier. 3 on the bounce, and they'd had a bit of a poor run before that. Looked like they were slipping back down the league. So, yeah, Blackburn were the first team I kind of wanted to highlight. I think that's a really good result against Leeds and puts them right on the verge of the playoffs. So interesting how Blackburn are going to carry on. The other ones I had a bit of a note from the other end of the spectrum. So I've gone for I've gone from positivity to poop. So on the poop side, and another team that play in orange to keep the orange up, Hull City. Hull City are in a bit of a rut, bit of a pickle, I would say. Obviously, they sacked their manager last week. Tim Walter paid the price. They're now 5 games without a win. They've not scoring goals, are they? 17 in 18 matches so far. It's just not great. As looking at some of the stats as well, they're really high for possession, but they're clearly not doing enough with it because they're wasteful in front of goal. They're taking a lot of shots, but their shot on target percentage is naff as well. So they're just in a bad position. Obviously, Liam Rosenior going at the end of last season and expectations to do more just isn't happening. Lots of talk at the minute, though, about the new boss being Ruben Sellers is the name that's being talked about quite a lot. Obviously, the Reading manager, so I don't know what you guys think of that. But he's emerged as the front runner. And he's obviously done well at Reading. Reading have had doing really well in 6th in League One with all the troubles that they've got going on. He led them to a respectable 17th last season when they were in trouble as well. So I think he's done a phenomenal job at Reading with what he's had. He was obviously at Southampton for that little stint as well. So maybe he's the man. But yeah, so my overview is Blackburn good, Hull not so good.
We've got a lot of interaction in the chat as well. So Carnell has actually said, so I'm going to leave this free for anybody to answer. It's just basically said, what's our thoughts on Hull City's new manager?
It's an interesting one because I mean, to be fair, I mean, Ruben's performed miracles at Reading considering the resources they've got at the moment and all the troubles they've had off the pitch. I don't think anyone would have expected them to be where they are at the moment. And yeah, it would be a massive step up and it's a bigger challenge for him to try and keep them up. But, if someone's able to do it against the odds at the moment, he's got the momentum with him. The results are speaking for themselves. So I maybe see it as sort of a smart move by Hull maybe at this point. I mean, they're probably not spoiled for choice really in terms of, who they may have liked. But I think you're going for someone that's been successful at a football club with everything that's going on in a very competitive League One, by the way, as well. It's probably one of the toughest League Ones I've seen for years. And, the fact that we're in the playoffs at the moment, then that's just a testament to what the job he's done there. So I think that's a smart appointment from Hull.
Completely agree. What do we think about Reading now on this? Because obviously it's tough for them, isn't it, losing the manager? Because it's tough for them anyway, isn't it, at the minute with all the difficulties going on off the pitch. So what do we make of Reading?
It's a big hit, isn't it? It's a big hit for Reading because if you're a prospective manager, you're going to look at that and go, what am I going to really do there? 6th place where they're at. I mean, amazing just to be there. You kind of want some stability if you're going in. Their best bet looks like it's probably going to be, I don't know whether the assistant will go with Ruben Sellers. I don't know in terms of what they've got internal, whether that's going to be an interim option for them. But it's just another kick. But it can't be something they're unexpected because Sellers has stuck it out for quite a while. So it would be sad for them. But at least where he's got them in the league, that even if it does and they get a bit of a hit, it's not going to completely you wouldn't imagine tank them down into somewhere where they're threatening survival. It might mean that their season, they're mid-table, but probably Reading fans would just snap your hand off from where that was going at the start of the season and just want the behind the scenes. So, yeah, it's always a hit if someone loses a manager, but Reading, I think, have got a lot of problems alongside that, haven't they? Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. And obviously, this is a time where we see a lot of managerial changes, don't we? Like, they get given a little bit of time, but just before the January transfer window, that's when a lot does tend to happen. And I know there has been a lot more changes, especially in League One, which we will get onto very soon. But it's always an uncertain time for managers, isn't it? Just before Christmas. Jen, any standouts for you?
You know how I said Plymouth were doing so well? Yeah, they've taken a beating recently, and I feel bad for Rooney. I do. I think he's a great guy, and I don't know what's going to happen at Plymouth now, whether he stays there or he walks, because the fans are slowly starting to turn on the club and the players, and it's not fair for him to have to deal with that. I think if Plymouth get relegated, I think it's going to be bad, very, very bad. So I'm hoping they somehow manage to get themselves out of this rut, because I don't think they deserve to go down at all. They're a great team, and it's a great stadium to go to, so I wouldn't like them to go down into League One.
We've got a comment as well, off Cornell. He's put, do you believe that Wayne Rooney will stay or leave Plymouth? Do you reckon they'll give him the time? Because I know I've heard, and I mentioned it, I think it was on last week's podcast, I think they have the smallest budget out of all of the Championship. And I think there's a lot of people who aren't quite happy at the minute with like what's going on at Plymouth. But do you reckon it is all down to Wayne Rooney, or do you think he does deserve time? And that's open to anybody.
I think he does deserve time. I think he's probably earned
100%.
it. I mean, the fact is, like I said, we're talking about budgets, and budget is a massive thing in the Championship. You need a big budget to get out of that league. That's why we said about the League One sides, for your Wrexhams and all that, and also Birmingham's even to go back up into the Championship, they'll need to invest quite a lot. And I think Plymouth are one of those clubs that are always punching above their weight, because they're, the ambition for a club like them in that league is just to stay up for me. Because until maybe they get, like, say, a millionaire owner and all that sort of thing that can take them to that next step towards playoffs and everything like that. That's where they're going to be. So I don't think it's worth changing the manager at this stage for them, because that's the thing. They've had a bad week. That's the thing. I know that where they are in the league, obviously, it doesn't make good reading, but they've just had a bad week and a couple of bad results. And you think if they get one win, and suddenly everyone loves him again. That's the thing. It's how fickle football fans can be. I think we're all culpable with it. We get sucked into it. So I personally think that he deserves the time, and Plymouth do manage to put it off. And I still think there's teams worse than them in that division, personally. So I think they will stay up, but only just.
They're where they'd expect to be as well, to be fair. I mean, at the start of the season, 21st, they'll take that. If there's 21st at the end of the season, then everyone will be going, Rooney kept them up. He's done a decent. They've just had some really bad performances. I think that's been the problem. They've taken a couple of crazy smashes and say, I'm going to be biased because Wayne Rooney scored more club goals for my team than anybody else. So give Rooney whatever he wants. But I get that it's easy to pop at, and he's clearly defensively they're having a bit of a shocker. But couple of away games, if they can keep the home form strong, it's not an easy place to go down to at home park. Then as Ben says, I think there's some teams in the division that aren't as good as them, and they're still going points. The home form's going to be massive for him.
I completely agree. I just wanted to say for people in the chat as well, if I don't read your comments out first time, I haven't forgot about you. You don't have to resend it. I have starred it. It's just when it comes into context that I will read it. So do not worry, anyone. Do not worry. I will read it out. Uncle Nick, any standouts for you on here?
I actually watched a bit of the Oxford United game, surprisingly enough. And they were on the back foot for quite a lot of the game, but they scored an absolute stonking equaliser, and probably at the end of the day needed that point, because I was just looking at the teams in there and thinking about like Sheffield United, who I think are now top, but of all the teams in there, I think most of them are going to be yo-yo teams if they do get up to the Prem. maybe apart from possibly Leeds, because they've got the fan base and they've got a bit more history, and possibly Sunderland if they could get their act together and get it right off the pitch as well as on. But I mean, I don't know what anybody else thinks, but I can't really see anybody else that can get promoted in a build into the Premiership. You've got your likes, your Sheffield United, your Norwiches, your West Broms, obviously Luton's from last year, who've been there and come back down. So even though the Championship is a really tough league to be in, I think the gap just between the Prem and the Championship is so big that I struggle to see any team that gets promoted actually staying in the Prem.
I agree, to be fair. Like you said, I think if anyone, it'd be a Leeds, and it's because obviously the investment and everything in there. And I know they've recently, was it last season, they've been bought as well, Leeds. So I could see them maybe challenging. But yeah, I completely agree. I can't really see any other teams comfortably staying up, especially with the money that's spent in the Premier League as well, seasons after season.
Yeah, it's so difficult.
If you look at the Premier League as well, like the depth of it, even this season, like we've been talking on the Monday one about, how good Bournemouth are. They're sat in 13th place.
Yeah.
The quality that's going down to even those 14th, 15th positions, there's probably 6 of them, I'd say, in that kind of relegation clash. So 3 of them are going to go down, and odds are it's going to be Ipswich, Southampton, possibly. It could be a Leicester. Everton are still sort of swimming around there, and Palace. It's going to be those kind of teams, and you just think, they've got to knock those other 3 teams off. That's where it's probably going to come from. And even those, Everton have got a new stadium coming, and if they can get their takeover sorted, they'll be all right. Crystal Palace do this a lot, where they have a dodgy half a season and then they'll pick up. So you just are looking at it going, where do they take that gap? And we haven't seen it this last couple of seasons. Has been a real problem. It's not really since the season that I think it was Fulham came out with Nottingham Forest, and they had a bit about them. And you just, I look at those teams, and apart from Leeds with a bit of that, everything else, Sheffield United we saw last season, just the quality is just not there. They couldn't score. And even if you get someone who's free scoring like a Norwich, they can see a hell of a lot of goals, and then they'll get pummeled as well on occasion. So it's a big gap, and I'd say the 3 that go up will automatically be the favourites to go back down again, looking at the way it's gone this season.
Yeah, just quickly on that as well, I know we mentioned Sheffield United, and there is a little bit of breaking news. They have been taken over, and that was just recently. And I know Chris has put as well the statement. So he's put, "Dear fans, we are pleased to hear that COH Sports has finally received EFL approval. We look forward to updating you over the coming days." And that's a statement from Sheffield United.
Okay.
So that's good news for them. But Ben, any standouts for you before we go to the chat?
There's not a bit too many, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously, the big one being the Sheffield United game, but I think I'd go on what Nick said, to be fair. I think that's a good point for Oxford, considering they've lost their last 3. They've had a couple of heavy defeats in the last week or so, and I've conceded, I think it was 9 goals. So I think to bounce back, get a point at home against a side that, I think are going to be in the playoffs this year, I reckon. I think we've got enough about them, because they performed against the top sides. It's a case of, if they can do it, finish the bottom sides off, then I think they'll have no problem being in the playoffs this year, because I think they are one of the strongest sides in the division this year. So for Oxford to, had a bit about them, to show a bit of character to get that point, it might be crucial for them at the end of the season. So, that would probably be my standout, I would say.
Yeah. Just going back to the chat as well. So Chris has said his standout ones. Massive win for Borough at home. Hull are struggling. Kyle has put absolutely cracking result for Bristol City against Plymouth. Luke obviously put Plymouth are in a rut there, as we mentioned. Cornell has put Sheffield United have been on fire this season in the Championship. I can see Sheffield United getting back to the Premier League. Wilder has Sheffield United playing wicked football. Still on Sheffield United, Luke has put, you always wonder if they'll be a yo-yo club like we have seen with Norwich in the past. Well, we've seen it from them as well, haven't we? In recent seasons, Sheffield United, they don't seem to have, and I've said it time and time again, there needs to be a middle league between the Championship and the Premier League for those clubs, don't they? Like your Burnleys, your Norwich, your Sheffield United, because they seem to be too good for the Championship, but not good enough for the Premier League. What else do we have? Oh, Cornella's asked, what's your take on Scott Parker at Burnley this season? Are Burnley to be taken seriously?
But you can only look at their league position. I think that's the thing. Like, they're second at the moment. I mean, again, like we said, they are a yo-yo club. But like it's been recent times, they weren't. They've just never stand their foot and get when they've been in the Premier League. But I think Scott Parker's, he's got experience. He's done it with Fulham, and he knows the league really well. So obviously, if they can pull it off and get back into the Premier League, then I'm sure he'll have, let's say, the contacts and and knows exactly what it takes to stay in the division. But yeah, I think they're always a side I think you'd expect to take them seriously in the Championship because they're one of the big sides in that division. They have been for the last 10 years or so. They've always been in and around there. So yeah, it's a very interesting promotion race because there's 4 or 5 good sides in there. You think that they could maybe sneak second or even first place. So I say it's so tough to call. We're not even halfway through the season yet, but I think you'll probably see maybe just after Christmas as it starts to take shape a little bit more. It'll be interesting to see where Burnley are still in and around there. If they even left, they might even be top of the league for all we know by that point.
They've been defensively excellent so far, Burnley. 12 clean sheets they've had. That's insane. After 18 games, only conceded 6. And they're picking up the wins now because there was a few sort of draws, 0-0, etc. It's a very different kind of Burnley, isn't it? But that's a good base to have. If you're not conceding goals, then you only want to win a game. It's that simple.
Exactly. And I think this is a joke, by the way. Lucas put that he thinks his standout is Watford versus QPR. You never know. It might have been a great game, but just not many goals. We have got as well. Are Middlesbrough serious contenders to win the Championship this season under Michael Carrick? What are people thinking about Carrick? I mean, he's doing a good job, to be fair, isn't he?
He's a good manager.
He's doing good. Not to win it, I think.
He's good.
They'll be in the playoffs, but I don't think they'll win it.
Yep. Doing a very good job, Michael Carrick. We like Michael Carrick on here. Do you think QPR will stay up this season in the Championship as well? Do we think?
50-50.
Yeah. It'd be tough, won't it? I think. Yeah.
I don't think they will. I just don't think they've got enough battle. It seems they've been going on a downward spiral for quite some time now, and I think maybe this might be the season now where maybe they need to go down to rebuild again and get to, because that's the thing again, they were one of those sides about 10 years ago that were in the Premier League and challenging to be in the Premier League, even becoming at one point an established Premier League side. So I think maybe they need that relegation to build themselves again because it's happened in the past. Southampton have had to do it, Leicester City have had to do it, so they might just need that bit of a kick up the backside, to be honest, to hopefully getting back in shape again, because it's just, I think it's rotten at the moment down there for them.
Definitely. Here we are. This is for you, I think, Uncle Nick. Jamie has put, just got back from Swindon ground, 59 of the 92. It's a Swindon fan still on. He is, Jamie. Uncle Nick is here.
Well, I didn't know we were playing tonight. What do you do? Just walk around the ground?
You're unbeaten tonight, Nick. Clean sheet.
That's the only way we'll get one. Mind you, probably walked around the ground and thought, well, not much going on in the game. It's a bit quiet. Well, that's like a normal Saturday. as long as you had a look at the Don Rogers statue, that's the main thing. That's the positive at the moment.
We obviously have got the Championship table here, but before I read it out, Aled has actually mentioned about Sheffield Wednesday. So they're actually 12th now. And he has put, great to see Wednesday now, far away from the relegation zone. And he's also put, would really like to see them back in the Premier League. Very good manager, I think they've got as well.
Yeah.
Very good manager. So yes, the Championship. So top of the table, we have Sheffield United on 38 points. Burnley a second on 36 points. We have in the playoffs, Leeds United a third on 35 points. Sunderland a fourth on 33 points. Middlesbrough a fifth on 30 points. And Watford are sixth in that final playoff spot, also on 30 points. And then in the relegation zone, we have Hull City, who were 22nd on 15 points. QPR are 23rd on 15 points. And Portsmouth are bottom of the league on 13 points. I think I got that mixed up then. Hull City and QPR both have 15 points and Portsmouth have 13 points. I don't know if I said it right or what. I don't even know what I'm saying.
We're just checking if the chat's asleep, so I'll just chuck one in and just be like, 19th place Valencia.
Exactly. But yeah, that is the championship. So we do have, because obviously League One were in the FA Cup. These are from midweek. So we have the League One results. First of all, though, we have a lot that's happened. And I know in the chat, Sean was obviously talking about Northampton and their manager has resigned today. And in the chat as well, I'm not too sure who mentioned it. I think it might have been Michael. There's rumours of Robbie Savage being linked with them. And I'm pretty certain, doesn't he basically own Macclesfield? And isn't he running Macclesfield at the moment?
Yeah. I thought.
He is.
Yeah.
I get the sense he's been, because every time I catch him on TNT Sports, he's very much, his commentary is all about tactics and formations and all if they're doing, and it's almost like here's my window a little bit. So, yeah.
I personally think that's too big of a step up at this stage because Macclesfield are a side that should be in the league they're in. They should be expected to win that league. I mean, I think they're still unbeaten at the moment, but the amount of money that's been pumped in there, you know, I just think you're going from that to Northampton, and that'll be a completely different challenge because the challenge for him will be to stay up in the division. So I don't know if he had that sort of thing about him at this stage. I think he needs a few more years at least to learn his trade in that in non-league, and whether that's with Macclesfield or someone else, but I don't think it's the right move for him at this moment in time. But again, I'd love to hear what the Northampton fans have to say about that one.
I know, because was it you, Sam, or Farah, who mentioned that Pete Wild is being linked to the job?
I'd heard Pete Wild as a possible name that's been chucked in. The other one I'd heard was Gary Rowett possibly as well. I'd seen in a report.
Might be a bad move for him.
I would imagine at the minute, though, because I don't know a lot of the details of it, but it all seemed to be quite quick, didn't it? And they'd sort of said, we've had to kind of accept it. So I'd imagine there is no plan in place at the moment.
I just love Pete Wild, me. I really like Pete Wild.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy. I do like Pete, actually, as well.
It's just so chill as well. It's just so, I really like him. I think that would be a really good appointment for him. But yeah, in the chat, Northampton fans, please let us know if there's anyone you want as manager, if there's any rumours as well, because I know there is a lot of rumours. As soon as a manager gets sacked or linked somewhere else, you're linked with absolutely anyone. It's always the same names as well, isn't it, what pop up? No matter who sacks the manager, it's always the same people. Always. But I am going to ask, who do I come to? Ben, I'll start with you first. League One, any standouts on here?
Good. That's a terrific win for Crawley Town at Shelton, to be fair. I know Graham was very unhappy about it. I saw a few tweets he was putting about. Yeah, I mean, I think Shelton, I don't know what's gone wrong with them after such a blistering start to the season. I think a few fans are starting to turn on the manager a little bit, actually, Nathan Jones, which is a bit surprising because, last year he was an absolute hero to them, obviously, for keeping them up. And I know they are one of the biggest sides in that league and they should be expected to be in and around there. But yeah, I mean, they are, I guess, 8 points off the playoffs at the moment. So that's the thing. You don't want to be catching up. That's the thing, even at this stage of the season. So, and, losing games against Crawley at home as well, that's going to be quite dampening for them. So, they're going to have to find a response to that. Otherwise, they could only keep on slipping down the table. But I think I've got to give credit, probably to Wrexham. Actually, I think it was a late goal they scored against Barnsley to keep him up in second place at the moment. Again, these are moments in the season where you think that could get him promotion because, Barnsley have been one of the better sides in the division. Everyone's always put them up there, to be in the playoffs or even automatic promotion. So, yeah, for Wrexham, they thoroughly, needed that actually, and keeps them sort of intact with Wickham as well at the top, and also especially with Birmingham, they've got a couple of games in hand over Wrexham. So, yeah, that's better still to have the points on the board at this stage.
Definitely. And before I come to anybody else, Sean has put I want Chris Wilder back. Anyone but Savage.
What am I
Anyone,
going to
just
say?
not Jim McNulty. Not Jim McNulty. But he had that trauma. Sam, the EFL man. Any standouts for you on here?
I think for me, we were talking off air, weren't we? And say, the FA Cup didn't go too good for them, which we'll come to later. But an Albion's win at Peterborough.
Yes.
They've been struggling for wins this season. A good win away from home at Peterborough. Mason Bennett scoring the only goal. Nice little calm one-on-one finish. It puts them off the bottom of the table, I think, for the first time in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they've still got a caretaker manager in that kind of role as well. So a bit uncertainty for Burton. But Peterborough, it's a real funny one because they're really just not at it, are they, this season?
No.
Obviously, last season they finished fourth and they were in the playoffs and really, really threatening. It's their 8th loss of the season, the 12 last season. And that's despite the fact they've still got Kwame Poku, who's still banging the goals in. He's got 10 in 19, although he missed a big chance against Burton from the highlights I saw. But I'd be worried as well that the old transfer vultures will be circling around him in January as well, because I think there was a couple of championship clubs. It might have been Blackburn, I think, were linked to him in the summer. So I wouldn't be surprised that Peterborough are just sort of sinking. They're not actually that far away from getting dragged into relegation nonsense. You imagine they'd be too strong for that, but they're dropping points all over the place. So I think that was a really good win for Burton. Saying the caretaker manager's picked up 2 wins, so it's kind of given them a bit of a foundation. Another one who's looking for the manager, probably all the same names on the list that we've just discussed, I would imagine.
Something I've only just noticed as well. I thought I did all the graphics wrong then for some reason. Luke has just pointed out there's a lot of home wins, isn't there? A lot.
People don't like travelling on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
No.
It's too late.
Just before I move on, Graham has put the only positive from this week is today is the 32nd anniversary of our return to the Valley after 7 years in exile. So I don't think the game against Crawley was a very good game, because this is the only positive about football this week for Graham, bless him. But at least he found a positive. That's what we like on this podcast. Can always find a positive. Just on the Northampton managerial change as well. Jamie has put Harry Redknapp is available, and Luke has put Neil Warnock is just a phone call away.
He's loving it talking. Why would he want to leave at the moment?
I know, exactly.
Hang that out for the summer down there.
Grimmy has put as well, no place like home.
It's like Wizard of Oz, Grimmy.
That's very fitting, because I've watched Wicked recently, and what a film. What a film. I won't give any spoilers away, but if you want to watch it, please do, because it is brilliant. Brilliant. Jen, any standouts for you before I give any spoilers away? I don't want to do that.
I watched it.
Very good.
I was going to say Reading and Cambridge, because obviously Cambridge are at the bottom of the table. They are struggling, but even with Reading's off-field situation and everything going on there, they're still somehow in the playoffs, and I think that's just incredible for everything that's going on off-field. And I think if they lose their manager, that's going to be a massive hit to the players, and I think they might slip down the table a little bit. So I'm happy for them being where they are in the table right now. I just hope they manage to keep hold of their manager. But at the end of the day, when you're in a squad like that, or you're in a team like that, if someone bigger comes with you with bigger options and bigger money, you're going to leave at the end of the day. And it's just the way it is.
Definitely. Grimmy has mentioned as well, was there a witch? I think that's to Wicked. And I can say there is two. That's the only spoiler you're getting, and one of them wasn't me. One of them wasn't me for once. Uncle Nick, is there any standouts on here for you?
Yeah, I think there's a good win for Orient 3-0, which takes them just outside of the dotted line for relegation. It sort of drags Bristol Rovers a bit nearer them. And I just obviously you'll put the table up in a minute, but anybody in that bottom half of the table is in danger in getting dragged down there, because there's not a lot of teams that are on decent runs and just to show how hard the league becomes. I was just looking at Mansfield, they were a decent team. they've lost their last 4 on the trot. And again, you get that sort of form and it'll drag you down and you're soon on free fall. So if teams can, win 2 or 3, like Crawley have won their last 2, and again, that's pushed them up a couple of places. Yeah. So, it's so tight down there that, it's going to be great. But that's certainly a good win for Orient. And I've got a lot of time for Orient. Obviously, Richie Wellens used to be our manager and did really well for us. I know he hasn't had success at every club, but no manager ever does. But I think he's a decent manager, and I know they've got some good owners and a good setup there. So, I'd like to see them pull away from that league because they say that it is a decent setup, and their pie and mash is really good as well.
I'm partial to a pie, so I'm all over it. We just need to get promoted so I can go. Might just go for a pie. Do you know what? Should we make that a podcast segment? We can go around and see who does the best pies. I'd happily go and taste them and rate them.
I reckon so. Rate my pie. Absolutely rate my pie.
For the diet,
You've got to come taste ours, Shah. That's the thing. Ours is the best in non-league, and that's not me blowing my own trumpet. So many away fans have said because they're freshly made, locally made as well. They're not big brands or anything like that. Locally made pies. Honestly,
anyone sold it to me, Ben.
Honestly, do they get liquor on it like they do at Orient?
It's got to be gravy. It's got to be great. I'll even bring my own bisto. I'll even bring it.
The confidence, the best pie in non-league. I'm loving it. The absolute confidence.
Claire has put, Ben, that's a bold claim. Me and Shat are on the way. I am, and I'm bringing my gravy.
Journey, Claire. It's worth the 4-hour journey, trust me. Anyone that's ever had them before our ground, they are one of the best I've ever had anyway at football ground.
Do you know what, everyone? Let's end the podcast right here. I'm on my way. Don't want to talk football. Sorry, everyone. I'm off to get a pie. Just on the food front, Dietrich's put, don't know about pies for us, but Kieran loves us pizza twist at our place. Don't even know where Kieran is. Not seen him in ages. Where's Kieran? Where's Kieran? Where is it? Kieran who? Absolute this. I will be on every show. If that was a podcast.
Oh my God, imagine.
Every show. Every show.
I'll be honest with you all over that.
Yeah.
But I have to get back to it. And we've got a lot of people in the chat who want to talk football and not food. But to be honest, I just want to end it and just talk about food. Do you know what? I'm going to talk about food for a minute. Claire has put, our pies are award winning. I'm going to get some for Uncle Nick. Aww.
Everybody's pie is award winning. I'm hearing everyone's got the best pie in the country. There's got to be a naff one somewhere.
We can only accept award winning things now, can't we?
Exactly.
That's the award winning.
No second rate pies here.
No, it's got to be the best. Only the best for us.
I'll tell you what, when I go to Chelsea, I'll get some food and I'll give you a little update of how good their food is.
Yes.
The Premier League club ones are some of the worst. Man United.
I was going to say that.
Theirs is awful.
Awful.
Grimmy has put, don't come to Blythe Spartans for the food. Elaborate, Grimmy. I want to know why. What's wrong with it? Graham has put, too wet and windy to come down here at the moment. You'll need a boat. I'm from up north, Graham. I'm used to it. It's never sunny here. I'm used to it. I bring my armbands. Dietrich has put, you should rate 40 scram from each ground. I'm all over it.
Should.
On it like a car bonnet, mate. How northern did I sound then? Claire has put, I'll send some to all the lower league pod and we can have a special segment. Yes, please. I'm well up for that. Well up for it. Alan has put, only have one bad pie at Stockport, but usually be top class.
Claire.
Sean has put, have you seen the hot dogs at Man United? I've not.
The hot dogs, the cheeseburgers, it's a mess. A bit like the club's been running. It's a bit like the roof, to be honest. There's half of it missing usually when it comes to United food.
Grimmy has put as well, all I'm saying is a hot dog of ours got put on 40 grand and it was not impressive. The chippy next door to the stadium is nice, so that's a shame, innit? I love a hot dog. I don't want to talk football anymore. But that's because we wanted you lot to joke on them, Alex.
Claire.
Oh,
Put the claws away, Claire.
oh.
Robbie Savage.
It's all kicking off. Do you know what? I better talk football because it's kicking off now.
Yeah.
I'll just put Barnsley didn't have what it takes to beat us at home. Graham, I get it. Takes.
Challenging the
get
pun
it.
master.
I love it. Chris has put, tell me why I don't like the Orient keeper. I will tell you when we get to the FA Cup because I'm ready for this, Chris. I was bigging Oldham up last week, and you came with chest and came at Dale. So I will happily talk about why you don't like that goalkeeper when it gets to the FA Cup. Kyle put Leighton Orient. Ha 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 ha. Oh my dear God, Rovers. Aled put Wickham have only lost twice in the league, which was against us and Brum. Is then put about 30th minute. I said, I thought we would score a worldie in the game, and what a rocket by Rathbone. You can't beat a last minute winner. I love Ollie Rathbone. What a player he was for us. What a player, and a lovely lad as well. We like it when they're good players and lovely chaps, don't we? I'll just put as well in regards to Barnsley. We were both equally at it first half, but we feel we slightly edged it in the second half. Claire mentioned as well, so it was a game, Birmingham City versus Stockport County. Oh, no. What? Oh, yeah, she's put, Wickham is still the best team I've seen this season. Brum got 2 goals from 2 mistakes. Put it in it bucket and move on. Still buzzing with our start. And she's also mentioned that she thinks Reading will struggle if they lose their manager. It would be a big, big loss. Massive. Graham mentioned obviously about his report on Charlton. No positive shot. It was garbage on Tuesday. We just play hoofball, and it's painful and depressing to watch. Oh, poor Graham. And Sean has put, don't get me started on the game, as we defended well for an hour. When we were down to 10 men after Tom Eves got sent off in the 30th minute, and then Stevenage scored 2 in added time. I feel like there's a lot of fuming fans at the minute. A lot of fuming fans.
Anger, isn't it? Pre-Christmas anger.
Get all your anger out, everyone. It's like free therapy being on here.
Top princes, aren't they? Oh.
I know. We have got as well, NS Sports TV has put big up. Hello, we hope you're okay. Yeah. Let's get on to the League One table. So top of the table, we have Wickham Wanderers on 39 points. Wrexham are second on 37 points. In third, we have Birmingham City on 36 points. Huddersfield Town, I pronounce my H and everyone. Yeah. I'm posh now. Now we're award winning. They are fourth on 32 points. Stockport County are fifth on 30 points. And Reading are sixth on 30 points. I mean, look at Reading.
So good.
Look at them.
Doing really well.
I love that. Love that. And then in the relegation zone, we have, sorry, Sean, Northampton Town on 18 points, Cambridge United are 22nd on 13 points, Burton Albion are 23rd on 11 points, and Shrewsbury Town are 24th, bottom of League One on 11 points. Claire has put as well, that goal difference, 11 down, blows my mind.
That is a bit
mental.
Wild, isn't it?
Sorry, Sean, I had to mention it. Graham's put, to quote you, Sha, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. Not used that one in a while, actually, ever. Aled has put as well, just glad Burton got their one out of the way before we play them on Saturday. So we have got, we won't talk much about these games, to be fair, because it didn't sound like thrillers. So the weekend's fixtures in League Two, we have Carlisle United 1, Crewe Alexandria 1, and Fleetwood Town 0, Colchester 0. Who wants to send us their match report about Fleetwood Colchester? What a game.
What a game.
Neither team scored a goal.
I know. But we do have the fixtures from League 2. Any standouts? We will talk about them first before obviously we talk about specific clubs. So, Sam, I'll come to you. Any standouts on here?
Oh, a standout for me, probably. I'm going to go for Walsall Notts County because it was a bit of a second half crazy game. And I'm all for a second half crazy game where everyone thinks the first half's a bit dull and then it all goes a bit mental in the second half. So all 5 goals in the second half, which were dropping them off a bit, but a really good win for them. Important win to keep them up there. They scored directly from a corner. Loving a bit of that. Screamed over the top of the goalkeeper. Good old windy conditions this time of year always help get a little bit of extra mile an hour on those corners. Although after yesterday, United's corners, that corner should be banned. So, don't play Arsenal with corners, I'm telling you. But Nathan Lowe's having a tremendous season for them. 9 goals, 4 assists. I think only Andy Cook of Bradford scored more. He's on loan from Stoke, but there is some rumours that Stoke are considering whether they might take him back, which might be a bit of a hit to Walsall's season in the second half, because Stoke have been one that can't score for toffee in the Championship at the moment. So they have a player scoring quite a lot in League Two. So possibly that might be a consideration. He's 19, exciting talent, been key to them. But for that game, really good, some really good goals in there and just a lot of attacking football. Both teams going at each other. So I'm all here for it.
Love that. Ben, any standouts for you in League Two?
Cracking result for Bromley against Gillingham. Sort of a local game. Everyone's calling it first Kent derby since we played them back in the 90s and that. I don't count it as a derby because Bromley are in London, so I'm not going to go there with that. But yeah, Bromley, what they've been at the moment, they were flirting a bit with starting to flirt a bit with relegation. And obviously with Gills on sort of downward spiral at the moment. I couldn't tell you what's gone wrong there at the moment after they had an amazing start and they were in the top 2 in that, and now they're just hanging on to mid-table at the moment. And yeah, whether it's a case of management team and that's losing the dressing room a little bit, or it's just a bad run for them. That fills me with so much pleasure, though. Trust me. But for Bromley, that's the thing. They need to stay up in the division, and I still think they will stay up in the division. I think they've got the resources, they've got the players to do it. It'd be a case of could they build on it next season, but yeah, they need that. I think they get a lot of their points going to need to come at home. No, I disagree, Graham. It's not a Ken derby. I couldn't care less. Just because they've got the Ken horse and the badge means absolutely nothing, honestly, because they don't even compete in it anymore, I think. So yeah, I won't go there. But yeah, that's probably the standout for me.
Before I come to you, Uncle Nick, and you, Jen, I do have a match report from Rebecca. She has sent them in, so I do want to read it out before I forget. So Grimsby Town 5 at Printon Stanley 2. I mean, they got the money's worth of goals in that game, didn't they? But she put, it wasn't our night. We were down on players such as Tyler Walton and Dara Costello, who are huge for us and were massively missed. Hopefully they aren't out too long. The players were tired from Saturday, it looked, and this had an effect on the match. We made mistakes, which led to a few of their goals. I was very happy to see Alex Henderson, not the main Henderson, obviously. I'm joking. Alex Henderson, sorry, Rebecca, in the starting 11 and also on the score sheet. And what a goal it was. Josh Woods added to his 5th of the season by intercepting the pass from the keeper, and it looped it over him. Unfortunate loss, but we go again Saturday. This is why I love Rebecca.
She's always so positive.
She's always so positive.
Char, it was nothing to do with them being tired. What it was to do with, after they drew Liverpool in the FA Cup, they all went out on the piss celebrating. And that's why they got stuffed.
Makes a lot of sense.
And she did send me this as well, but we will say, happy birthday, Seb Quirk. I mean, do you think I should sing to him?
No.
Sure, we'll see him.
We'll leave it. I think I'm saying,
You'll have people sending in their players. You'll be doing 4 birthdays a show.
Yeah.
With
I
player
tell you
birthdays.
what, though, we could make some dollar off this, though.
A cameo.
Yeah.
Jar's going to do some cameo birthday messages for players. Yeah.
I mean, I've done it for free all this time. I might as well do something, make some money out of it. Before as well, we obviously get to you, Jen, and you, Uncle Nick. We do have Alex, and he has put AFC Wimbledon 2, Newport County 2, and his match report is, in all seriousness, we were god awful for the first 20 and conceded 2 poor set piece goals. Much a 50-50 contest after, though, when we put a third choice centre back and striker, and he draws a penalty to level. Love it. And yeah, Graham's put Shah's personalised birthday greetings. I'll do it. I'll take one for the team. As long as you give me pies, feed me in pies, I'll be happy. But I do not know who wants to go first. So, Jen, Uncle Nick, you decide amongst yourselves. I'm just really quickly going to grab a drink of water because my voice, this shows I talk too much.
Go on,
I
Jen.
will be back.
Oh, God. Right. Tranmere. It was one of them games where we should have won it. Like, it was plain and simple. We should have won that game. The first half was fantastic. Probably some of the best football I've seen us play. Harry with some great saves. And then, obviously, Ben scored. And it was good. And we were doing all right. And then we got into the second half. And for some reason, we just fell apart. I don't know what happened. And them 2 goals that were conceded were easily defendable, easily could have been saved by Harry. And it's nothing against Harry. I think he's a great goalkeeper, but I just don't think he's had enough game time to be the number 1 goalkeeper for us. And obviously, Stu was back on the bench. Apparently, he's good to go, but Derek's not just one of them to drop his players as soon as one's back from injury. He's not that type of manager. I don't think he'll ever be that type of manager, to be fair. It was one of them games where we were looking at the table throughout it and we were like, right, if we win this gives us a huge bonus going into further games because obviously Swindon were losing, Accrington were losing, Kyle obviously drew. It was one of them games where it was like, we need to win it. And it was just frustrating going into the second half because it just felt like we was falling apart. There were some things that were just like, what are you doing? How did they got their first goal in the second half? Was ridiculous. No one was defending him. No one was near him. I don't know what happened in the second half. And I think as a fan, it was frustrating. But then you've also got to think, right, we've got a point. We're now out of the relegation zone. Could this be the push that the players need right now? And obviously, with winning in the FA Cup, it probably made them feel a little bit better knowing that they've got this. But then it's also like, we need to start winning games because Bromley are pushing away from us. Accrington are pushing away from us. It was a frustrating game. It was just, we should have won it. And the only credit I will give is to Tom White. That man has been one of the best signings for us. I generally hope we keep hold of him next season. Some of the defending and tackles he does is insane. He's such a good player. And I just think if we can try and get some more points on the board, I think we can survive. We have been told that apparently there's a bit more of a budget in January. Whether that's true or not, because I don't believe anything that's coming out from the owner anymore. So we'll see, because we could possibly lose in one of our loanies in January. Reece Williams there's rumours going around saying that Liverpool are going to call him back and send him to another club. But he's personally said to people within the club that he will not leave Morecambe if it's for another League 2 side. He will only leave if it's for a League 1 side, which I hope he doesn't leave because he's been incredible for us. And I think as a club with a low budget, loans are the way forward for us. And if we lose Reece, I think it could be a massive, massive hit for us.
Luke has put in the comments as well. He's put, Jen, if Morecambe get a penalty one game, just stick Tom White on it. I want him to score.
He was close to scoring, like he was close, but I would love nothing more than Tom White to get a goal. 100%. I know I say it like I shouldn't fall in love with players, but I just know that Tom's such a special player, and if we lose him, I'm going to be absolutely gutted.
It's that time, Uncle Nick. In the chat as well. I don't know if Michael is familiar, but he's just asked, how's things going at Swindon, Nick?
How's things going at Swindon? Well, on the pitch, nothing's going. I mean, we never, ever get anything out of Colchester. I've seen us drop points to 9 men there. It's just a ground that we do nothing. But Harry Smith, I read today, got Player of the Month for last season for League Two. So what does he do? Tuesday night, opens the scoring with an own goal. I mean, which about sums up the way our season's going. We were 4-0 down at half-time, and we thought our performance against Morecambe was bad, but this was worse. I've seen him stayed with Swindon watching. I've seen him lose 7-1 at Forest. I've seen him lose 7-4 at home to Aldershot. And stayed the full duration. I was watching it on the telly. I lasted to half-time. I couldn't watch anymore. I switched over and watched Vinnie Jones in the Country because that's bloody sight more entertaining. So if you want to watch a good series, have a look at Vinnie Jones's. It's really good. It stayed at 4-0, but basically because Colchester took it easy second half from the reports, they didn't have to do anything. The problem is we've got 2 keepers that are, I think, 20, 21-year-olds. One's on loan, Bycroft's their own, but we need an experienced goalkeeper. If we do nothing else in January, we need an old head in there that can steady it. He's persisting with 3 at the back, which is how we were going to be set up from the start of the season, but it never happened because of injuries. So we've got brought in Hall, Wright and Delaney, but it doesn't work. But he keeps persisting with it. So I don't know what the team's going to be Saturday because he said he's going to bring some of the youth players in shake it up a bit. To be honest, it can't be any worse. So we'll see what he does. But if he persists with a back 3, we just as well forget it, to be honest, because we've done absolutely nothing on that score. I say it was probably worse, and I feel for the however many fans travelled up there because it's not the easiest place not to get to and from. So that was bad, and obviously I say good luck to Aki in the FA Cup going to Liverpool, and we were a stoppage time equaliser away from it. And then we missed missed a penalty in the normal time, and then missed. Obviously, you'll come on to the FA Cup later, I know, but we missed 3 penalties in the shootout, which is just kills you. So we're not in a great place on the field. We're not in a great place off the field. As I talked about on the last pod, the spirit of '69 is started. The protest is going well. Dan Hunt's been on loads of media. Going through what's happening. There's a massive protest going to take place on the 21st when we play Grimsby, which is quite ironic, really, because I think that was Holloway's last club. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's going to be his 1000th game in charge. Lots of rumours saying, well, he'll probably walk after that because that's what he wants to get is his 1000 games. Personally, I don't think he will. I think he's there till the end of the season. So the protest movement is going well. It's all about orange. There was a protest a few seasons ago where people were wearing the orange hats. As I said, they were selling one a minute. I've said they've sold 300 with the logo on. The Spirit of '69, and I think they're giving 500 away on the day of the protest. There's going to be a march, and details will be out by the end of this week to the ground, to basically the area where the Don Rogers statue is. So that'll be the next time I go to the ground. I'm not going Saturday because I can't be asked to go, to be honest. to see performances like that.
Yeah.
You want to get behind the team. It's the hierarchy is a problem. The owners come out and saying what are they protesting about. So it just shows the lack of understanding of the feeling of the fans and why something had to happen. Holloway talks about changing it in January, but the only change I can see is the loan players go back and we bring some more loan players in because we ain't got any money to buy anything. There's rumours going around again that we're paying suppliers late payments to the police and the ambulance services for the medicals around the ground. So there's just all the usual things going on at town. The last home game in one of the stands, there is no hot water for fans to get a drink. They've run out of food. They've refurbished the Legends Lounge and the floor is now ripping up. And it's just, unfortunately, it's what the Spirit of 69 has said. Clem Morfuni is not capable of running a football club, and his CEO is even worse. So that's the position we're in, and they're in it for the long term. It probably won't change this season because even if a new owner comes in, nobody's going to come in now because would you buy a club that's likely to be in the National League next season? You'll wait and see what happens. If we go down to the National League, obviously people can come in and it's going to be a lower price. So if they want to take that gamble, and the way it's going between now and January, you can't see where points are going to come from. You look at the fixtures and it gives you no confidence that we're actually going to get a result. Can't see us getting anything Saturday. We play Wickham in what was the Bristol Street Motors, and that's been renamed again in that cup. So that's probably be another defeat. 2 wins all season. It just isn't good enough. And what was even made it worse on Tuesday, Colchester had 4 players in their squad that used to play for Swindon and decent players. So it's it just goes from bad to worse, unfortunately. The only slight, very dim light at the end of a tunnel, and I put it on our WhatsApp group today, was that Morecambe, Accrington, Salford, Bromley and Harrogate have all got massive FA Cup games. Now, that could distract them from league football. But somebody did make the point, yeah, but they'll have a lot of money to spend in January. So, oh, great. So, and good luck to them. When nobody wants to see any other team, being stuff. And again, the other consolation I said, well, at least we ain't going to go to Liverpool and get absolutely spanked. So that would have been another wasted trip. So unfortunately, that's where we are. So the orange flag is up. I'll be taking that with me on the day of the protest. I will go to the game. I think a lot of fans are going to be at the protest, but not actually go to the game because they don't want to put money into the club, because you don't know where it's going and how we can be skint with gates we've had in the past. People keep asking the questions, but you never get the answers. So the football's not great. The setup's not great. And unfortunately, we had one good season when he first come in. And for someone who's had so much goodwill to destroy it in a couple of seasons, it as a fan, it just kills you, actually. And so many people have come up with that. Vic Morgan, who lives down in around Exeter Way, he I think he used to be on the BBC. Does a lot of sports match coverage. He goes to every single game, home and away. And when you get people like Vic just saying the club's gone, and it shows you how far we've fallen. So yeah, it's pretty depressing as a fan. But hopefully the movement will do something. We're getting a lot of coverage on it. They say Dan Hunt, who's sort of leading it up front, has been on a lot of TV programs, a lot of podcasts, and the guys are doing a great job. So that's happening, and that's their positive at the moment. That's got something that you can hold on to, and yeah, things will be better. We've seen it with other clubs. There's other clubs that are struggling for similar reasons, and you just hope we can get out of it. But it's just very difficult to see how we will actually survive this season, and I think if you look at the league table, I think pretty much everybody, and I'm not sure if it's 100% everybody, but in the bottom half, if at one stage been out of the Football League. And I think we're the only club in that bottom half that have always been a Football League club, and we're in massive danger of losing that from our history. So yeah, it's a bit depressing, but who knows? We might get a win Saturday, so I hope we do. And if we get a win Saturday, great, and I'll be happy for the players. So that's where we are. We can't really. Well, I've said enough now, so
it just makes me so sad.
Yeah, it's not good.
There's a lot of people in the chat as well, Uncle Nick, who obviously are sending their support as well. So, and we're all with you.
No, it's great. It's appreciated. So we can see that. We've had messages from other clubs. Lots of clubs are behind it because they've been in the same position. And lots of clubs are in a very similar position to us, unfortunately. And unless the EFL sort out who can be the owner of a club and get some rules in that actually work. And, there is talk of if someone comes in to buy a club, they should put a bond in there that money is there so the club is sustainable, rather than they chuck a few quid at it and then walk away and then the club's in trouble. So these are the things that need to be looked at with the football. What is it? Not a football administrator. The stuff that's going through Parliament at the moment, whether that will help or not, I don't know. Football regulator, so maybe that'll do some good. But we just hope that like Reading, in Morecambe, everybody struggles with it. So it's the fans that it hits, and that's the sad thing. Players move on. They'll probably get another club. If we get relegated, we'll have a big churn, and unfortunately, the level of performance at the moment, there aren't many of our players that are good enough for League Two, and that's the sad fact. So the recruitment's been bad, the coaching has been bad. I was on Holloway's side, but he's persisted with three at the back, and it hasn't worked. So unless he changes that, we're only going one way.
Yeah.
But I'm repeat myself, so I'll finish it there.
It just makes me so sad. But Uncle Nick, do not worry. We have the person who we need for positivity. We've got Dietrich. Dietrich's here. Bless her. Just when we needed it. Obviously, Dietrich is a Bradford fan, and she's put my match report. Andy Cook was on the score sheet again to score a late equaliser from a Bobby Poynton cross. Not much else to say, but a point is a point, and we go again. On to the weekend versus Crewe. And then a lovely usual smiley face. That is what we needed. Whenever we're feeling down, she's always here at the right times. So thank you. We have in the chat as well, Raji has put, hi Charlotte, it's Raj. Hope you're well. I'm very well, thank you. I hope you are too. But I'm so sorry, Uncle Nick. We do have to come to the League Two table. Hopefully it will change very soon. Jen. I hope, obviously, Uncle Nick, Jen and Rebecca, they are on the move. So we want all three of them to be on the move. No offence to anyone else in the chat whose clubs are near the bottom, but we've got to stick up for our three. So, top of the League Two table, we have Port Vale on 35 points. Walsall are second on 34 points. They are absolutely flying, Walsall. Doncaster Rovers are third on 32 points. And then it's going to pain everyone when I say it, but fourth, we have Milton Keynes Dons on 30 points. Crewe Alexandra are fifth on 30 points. Notts County is sixth on 28 points. And Grimsby Town is seventh on 28 points. And then in the relegation zone, we have Carlisle United, who are 23rd on 14 points, and then bottom of the League Two table. So sorry, Uncle Nick. We have Swindon Town on 13 points, but we're quickly going to change it now. It never happened. Never happened. National League. So there wasn't many because obviously we do have a lot of people still in the FA Cup. People like us, we're not in the FA Cup, but Tamworth were, so we didn't play. But we have Braintree 2, Gateshead 2. So I'm hoping Mr. Luke, why did I call you Mr. Luke again? Luke will send his match report in. We have Ebbs Fleet 0, Boston United 0. We have FC Halifax 0, Southend 2. A very good win for Southend away from home. We have Hartlepool 0, Barnet 0, which I think is a very good point for Hartlepool. Massive, massive point for them. Sutton United 2, AFC Fylde 0. I don't mean to be harsh, but it's always nice when AFC Fylde lose. We have Woking 0, Yeovil Town 2. Yeovil Town are doing very, very well at the minute. And York City 6, Maidenhead 2. So, standout result, I'm sorry. I mean, it's very good from Southend. It's very good from Yeovil and Sutton, but 6-2. And York, they're flying at the minute, aren't they? They're doing very, very well.
I needed that as well after the result against Altrincham the other night as well. That's the way to hit back, and that's what teams at the top do. So if you get a bad result, you hit back straight away, and that's exactly what they've done. So yeah, that's a big point for them. Big 3 points for them.
We can give him a point now. We can do that.
The Hill's watch now, of course.
Exactly. Chris has put York after getting beat, they go and smash. Maidenhead 6-2. Raj has put as well York going up for me. You never know, because it's still, as much as York are doing well, there's still a lot of very good teams in that National League. Luke has put, so he's our Gateshead fan. So Braintree 2, Gateshead 2. He has put quite poor form, quite poor from us still not to win another game, especially when the opposition side had 10 men. But yet again, Braintree just defended. Sounds familiar. But yet again, Braintree just defended for their lives to get a result. We've got Farsley Celtic in the FA Trophy on Saturday. I expect us to win that comfortable, but we will have to wait and find out.
Just a word on Braintree Town. Obviously, I think I put it in the group chat I did about what their owner said. So obviously he's come under a lot of criticism recently because of the sacking of Angelo Harrop. He's talking about the fact that they've spent 50% over budget to try and stay in that league, which I think is absolute madness. And the thing is, though, it's the owner's money, but that's the thing. Is like, you can't be complaining when you're not getting the results. If you put that money into getting that side, to stay up in that, you can't start blaming the manager, because if you must have okayed every single side that the manager's made. And to be honest, it's a good side, and they're not doing that badly. I know they're near the bottom four in that, but they're not in the position that Ebbsfleet are in at the moment. That's the thing. They're in a fighting chance of staying up. And to be honest, I think the appointment, I think they've appointed, I think it's Steve Pitt, is it? That they've appointed today. So, and I think hasn't gone down very well, Braintree fans. I think it's very underwhelming. And I just think it's crazy, because obviously if they go down, that's going to be a lot of money they'll lose. We found that out because we've only just paid, I think we're only just paying off our debts with the National League. So, they can't afford to go down, to be honest. And they must have had to pay off the manager as well, I'm assuming. So, yeah, I think the whole point, you have a budget there for a reason. That's the thing, and also it puts the club at risk as well, because like I say, if they go down in that, then, suddenly they might start losing the crowds or lose the away support that comes in as well, because some of the bigger teams in that division bring big away supports, and some clubs rely on that. And Braintree aren't exactly the biggest club for fan base in there, so they are going to have to find a way somehow in that. But the owner's certainly going to be under huge pressure now if if they're still down there come April, because I still think Angelo O'Hara. I think any club that gets hold of him now, I think that they've got a good manager. So I think they still think they've made a complete and utter error, but even more so now, it's absolutely ridiculous that they've spent that much money, and he's complaining about they're not doing it well. That's your fault. You're the one that's put that money in. You're one that okayed every single line, and you should have said, no, this is our budget. This is what we're sticking to. So that's the thing. I think there's only one man to blame, and that is the owner, in my opinion.
I completely agree. I mean, look at it. It's very close. Obviously, apart from Ebbsfleet, as we mentioned, but it's very close, isn't it? It's very tight at the bottom.
Yeah, that's the thing. It seems from 17th and that, it's just like anyone can get dragged into it. Obviously, when we mentioned about League One, I know Aldershot a bit of a shock with him down there after they've done so well last year. In and around that playoff area. I don't know what's gone wrong there. And I think did I see somewhere that their manager's gone afield or something like that, hasn't he? I could be completely wrong with that.
No, I think he has.
I think it is. So hopefully he recovers, recovers quickly in that, because, is it Tommy Whittingham, isn't it? I think he's great.
That's right.
He is. I like what he's done there, to be fair, at Aldershot. He's made a bit of a force again in that division, because they've only been sliding down, they have, over recent years. So, but yeah, it's too close to call at the moment. That's the thing. I mean, maybe even taking Boston out of it at the moment, between Fylde and Aldershot, it's anyone's game at the moment, especially with those games in hand. It's going to be key for Wealdstone now. They need to take advantage of that to get away from that bottom four, because it's going to get very interesting, between now and Christmas, I have to say.
100%. I'm just wondering, I'm pretty sure I didn't dream about it, but did Woking part ways with their manager? Or am I dreaming?
I know they appointed a new director of football. They did, Jody Brown.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
So, which it's a bit of a surprising one, actually, because he's I remember he's been manager of I think he's managed that level before. I think with Welling, I want to say he's been sort of around like the Kent, Essex area and everything like that. I can't remember what club he was. He was one of the managers in that when we were playing National South when we won the league, I think. And I mean, I think that's a bit of an underwhelming appointment, if I'm being totally honest with you. I think for Woking's purpose, for where they want to go, he's not quite the person I would have picked if you want a director of football. But I think it's someone that maybe has worked with the manager previously. Possibly they might have already had that chemistry. I don't know really. I don't really know the ins and outs. More Woking man to be able to tell me than myself. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. In fact, they're still down there after it was only 2 seasons ago. They were in the playoffs, in the National League, and they've really slipped down. I mean, they only just avoided relegation last year and back down there again. I think something needs to change there. Otherwise, give it even maybe next year. Possibly they could be going down into National South football again, which they can't afford to do because they are a National League club for them, in my opinion. So they need to find a way of picking that up.
Completely agree. In the chat as well, we have got Chris has put for Dale and Latics heads and Barnett dropping point was good. Luke has put Ebbsfleet probably one of the worst sides I have seen this season at Gateshead International Stadium. We won't talk about Ebbsfleet. We don't talk about Ebbsfleet on this podcast. We don't talk about them.
We just laugh at them. Or at least I do anyway.
I can't laugh at them. They laugh at us.
And I laugh at you for that.
I know. Several times. So, the National League table, we have York City, who are top on 44 points. Barnet are second, also on 44 points. Forest Green Rovers are third on 42 points. Gateshead are fourth on 38 points. Oldham Athletic are fifth on 37 points. Dale are sixth, on 33 points. Sutton United are seventh on 31 points. And then in the relegation zone, we have Maidenhead United, who were 21st on 19 points. AFC Fylde are 22nd on 18 points. 23rd, we have Boston United on 15 points. And bottom of the table, we don't mention them, but I have to. We have Absolutely United on 9 points. And Grimmy, we do not mention them because we were absolutely flying against them, and we kind of didn't do very well in the second half. But we didn't lose. We drew, but we shouldn't have drew because we did we did so good that first half and we blew it, completely blew it. But it is what it is. National League North. So the weekend's fixtures. Ben, I'll come to you first. Any standouts on here for you?
Curtis Ashton's win against Chorley, the top of the table clash, and that's a big statement that from Curtis Ashton to say that they're really in it for the promotion race this year, because I think they've gone top now and they still have 2 games in hand over the likes of Chorley and Scunthorpe. So if taking advantage of that, they could build a bit of a gap, to be fair. I mean, that's the thing. There's not really many to go on, to be fair, because I say it's quite a fair
in the chat.
I'll tell you what, though, Oxford City, they've pulled that one out of the bag, haven't they? They where they were, I think they've taken them out of the relegation zone now. So then they've picked up a bit of form after a really, really bad start. But suddenly now they've suddenly found their mojo again, and a 4-1 win against a side that's down at the bottom with them, with Farsley Celtic.
Yeah.
That's a huge statement for them. And now hopefully they'll have the confidence of that to push them and get a little bit of a run together, just to, build enough points in that to at least get, by sort of maybe the end of January, just away from that bottom four and put them out, of that fear of going down again, because after last season they can't really afford to go down again. So that's
their fourth goal from McEachran was an absolutely cracker. Really good fourth goal.
He's someone that's been there for quite a long time as well, isn't he, McEachran? I think every time we've played he's always there.
Yeah, well, he's a local lad from the area. I mean, I think there's definitely 3 brothers playing football in the league.
Didn't his brother play for Chelsea?
Yeah, George McEachran at Swindon. I think he's at Grimsby now.
Was one Josh?
Yeah. Josh is Josh is at Oxford, I think, and Zach is at Oxford City. And I think there's a 4th brother, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, so we want to know who the other McEachran
they're obviously
is.
A big footballing family. Yeah, good footballers.
I know one of them with Sophie Webster out of Corrie. That's how I know Josh McEachran.
Not know if it's football, Bill.
I am. I'm sure he was. That's how I know. I know my McEachrans.
Corrie McEachran.
Corrie McEachran. That might be my 4th brother. I come out with some random stuff. Oh god, it's like word vomit. I'm sorry, everyone. Mr. Luke has got us back on football. He's put the National League North title race is open to anyone at this point. It is.
There's only 4 points in it between 1st and 7th. It is very, very tight. And there's not many leagues in the top, leagues that we cover that are that tight at the top. So I think that's the job. It'd be a case of couldn't Curzon Ashton make advantage of those games in hand, because if they don't, then it really does get interesting. If they do, then it's be a case of fighting for the playoffs at this rate.
This made me laugh, bless him. So obviously Chris is a Spennymoor Town fan, isn't he? And they drew 1-1 to Buxton, and he's the only person who can send a 4-parter report on this, bless him. I love it. True fan. So we have Buxton at home, a very frustrating game with both teams giving away the ball. Far too easy in parts of the game, but a draw was a fair result in the end. The first goal of the game came from a deep corner, and the Buxton keeper fluffed his punch clearance and was headed back towards goal by New Loney Rutledge when Michael Ledger, ex-Sunderland, put it in the back of the net for his first ever goal. Oh, I love that. Sorry, I got really chuffed then. But Buxton, I was really proud then. But Buxton equalised not long after when a deflected cross on the right wing found the Spenny goalkeeper off guard, it seems, and unable to catch the ball, and Luke Brennan scored an easy goal. We have Alfreton away for the 3rd time this season, FA Cup League, and now the FA Trophy. Be very familiar with them then. You'll know your way around. I'm only joking as well, Chris. It wasn't a bad thing, so don't worry. And Lucas put, get the job done against Alfreton, Chris, and then get drawn to us next round of the FA Trophy. Who knows, Luke? You might not get through yet. Don't get cocky.
They should they've already lost They've already lost the lower league opposition as well this year, so you can't write them off.
Exactly. And even we beat you, Luke. That never happens. So don't brag. So yes, we have the National League North table. So top of the table, we have Curs and Ashton on 36 points. Chorley a second on 35 points. Scunthorpe United a third on 34 points. Kidderminster a fourth on 34 points. King's Lynn Town are fifth on 33 points. Buxton are sixth on 32 points. And Chester are seventh on 32 points. And then in the relegation zone, we have Radcliffe, who are 21st on 18 points. Marine are 22nd on 18 points. Needham Market, oh, poor Anne, a 23rd on 16 points. And bottom of the table, we still have Rushall Olympic on 12 points. But do you know what? I've been proven wrong because I honestly thought Scunthorpe would fly away with it. And I know there's still a lot of time. But the way they were going at one point, I thought they were going to absolutely fly away with this league. But they've not, have they?
No, I think the same issue happened when Salford won that league, actually.
Yeah.
They were flying away with it. I think they were like 13 points clear, and then suddenly Harrogate pips him back, to second place. Yeah. And then suddenly they just went on a run towards the end of the season. So I think it really matters to them when you get to sort of maybe February and onwards to see if they've got the character to do it. But the way Curs and Ashton do it, they've just got so much momentum with them at the moment. And no one expected them to be where they are at the moment. So yeah, Scunthorpe have got a proper title race in their hands now if they are to get back into the National League, because, as we said, they were flying away with it. Yeah. So something's gone wrong there, and they need to address it quickly. Otherwise, they could be in for the lottery of the playoffs again, which obviously didn't pan out for them last season. No. So they're going to be relying on that, that's for
sure. Just quickly in the chat as well, Chris has put Needham likes to draw against S teams. Chris has put it would be nice to see Ashton play in the National League. More derbies for us, Shah. Yeah, we need more derbies. We need them. National League South results. Ben, any standouts for you?
Worthing's victory over Western-super-Mare was a big one for them, because Western, again, one of those sides that have been, in top form in the league. They don't lose on the road. I want to say that might be one of their first losses on the road this season. I could be wrong, but Worthing really starting to put some momentum together now. They've had a couple of good results this week. Obviously, they've got another win on Tuesday night, so that's really pushed them into the mix again. Sort of cut down as well, the lead at the top of the table, which has got interesting. We're talking about, again, Hemel Hempstead have had a bad week. You can see 12 goals in a week, and somehow the manager still hasn't been sacked there. They're now 15 games without a win in all competition. They're bottom of the form table. They've lost their last 8 now, I think, and they are, I think 6-7 points above relegation now after being at 3 points clear top about 2 months ago. But that's Salisbury, to be fair. I think they put even still. I think it was 0-0 until about the 70th minute, I'm pretty sure. And then Salisbury just went to town, 5 goals in a short space of time. Although I will have a little bit of sympathy for Hemel Hempstead's manager, Bobby Wilkinson, because he did say after the game that the team that they had out there, only 2 of those players started in their last victory, which was against Slough. I think they've hit by about 10-13 injuries, which obviously isn't great. But again, it's like no side that he should be putting out there should be going to lose the games that they have in the manner they have recently. They'll probably lose the games, but not in quite that manner. I've been conceding any teams because they had 5 goals in the last 20 minutes is embarrassing, to be honest. So, they need to find a way and just to stop the rut and just get a point from somewhere, because otherwise they are going to get pulled into that relegation battle, that's for sure.
Chris has got some good news, though. Apparently, they did win midweek in the County Cup. Good old Emil.
Yeah. Side of the league below zone. Apparently, they didn't deserve to win. So, but again, you never know. That might kickstart it, but all we know, that might do the trick for them. So we'll see if that happens at the weekend. I don't know if they're playing or not this weekend, but yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
This made me laugh. Graham's put Hemel Hempstead lost their H's and they've gone downhill ever since. I'm posh now, though, so I'll call them Hemel. Hemel Hempstead. There we go. There we go. I'm posh. Well spoken. Now we've won an award. Any other standouts for anyone on this slide, or do you want to talk Maidstone, Ben?
I'll let it to the floor if anyone's got any standout results. All my National League South experts here.
I know everything.
So there's an obvious standout there, isn't it? On Cheshire Eastbourne, Jesus, that's that game of the weekend. Absolute stonker there was. So good. 17 goals disallowed, I can't believe it. 0-0.
Yeah, Torquay's a good result, winning away from home, and that keeps them in touch at the top end of the table. And for a club like Torquay shouldn't be down in National League South. With they were always a real good away game to go to. I'd like to see them still climb up that league a bit more, get near the top. But yeah, they're on a decent unbeaten run at the moment, so that's good for them.
I'm happy for Boreham Wood as well. I love their manager.
Don't like the club though.
No,
I like the manager, just... not the club.
Yeah. One as well. At least Mark White didn't lose at the weekend. He never loses. He might lose games, but he never loses in life. What a lad he is. We love him.
We're on his tail. We've still got 2 games in hand over them as well. That's going to get interesting. We're taking them back. But yeah. Sorry, go for it.
Chris, he's bigging up the Stones. You're in the top 10 now.
They are, yeah. It's all going well. Well, I mean, yeah. Saturday, I won't go. Well, I won't go too much into Tuesday because obviously we had a game on Monday as well, which was Monday, which was a bit more entertaining. But it was a frustrating one for us, to be honest. On Saturday, against St Albans. They've just at their management team. They've just bought a new management team as well, so it was their first game in charge. So I was expecting a reaction from them. And for the first half, I think we controlled large parts of it. We should have been more than 1 goal up. Again, our man, Anthony Papadopoulos, another goal for him. He's a man on fire. And I think he's got...
I think that's a great name. I love that name.
You might have to get used to it more often because I think pretty sure that clubs in the Football League now are looking at him again because I know he's still on loan to us from Crawley. But, I mean, if I were Crawley, I'd be looking at bringing him back because he's in such good form at the moment. Without him, our attacking threats, I think, limited at times. But yeah, I mean, I'd say we controlled it. First half, not really too many issues to be fair. And in the second half, they must have had a bit of a bashing at half time, St Albans, because they came out a completely different side. They did, and it might have been our own fault really because we tend to sit back on a 1-goal lead, which you can't afford to do. It is actually, Sean. I'll give you that one. And I don't want to blame the officials, for why we didn't get the 3 points, but they certainly didn't help because that referee is probably I think I've said it recently a lot now, but to be fair, this one was bad. She was probably the worst official I've seen this season. Like just in terms of she never had control of the game whatsoever. We had 2 goals disallowed, 1 for handball and 1 for a pretty strange one because it hit the ball hit the wheel on the side of our goal because it being a 3G pitch, came back out and they scored. Obviously, that's correct decision. Even the one we had handball, still inclusive for me. I think it's still a little bit harsh. No, we call him Paps actually. Paps it's not Paps, it's Paps we call him. That's wrong. I can't think of anything else. I think I need to say on the Twitter now, just call him Paps instead of Papadopoulos because they're constantly writing out something. And it keeps going over, and when I'm typing out in the team as well, it goes all wrong all the time because it goes over one of our players and that you can't see half his name on it.
Needs a little nickname.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, Paps is the one we normally tend to go with. To be fair, but yeah, I mean, we didn't seem to get anything. One thing I did learn about Saturday is that apparently shirt pulling is now allowed inside the box, basically ripping people's shirts off. We must have had about 2 or 3 strong penalty claims, which at least 2 of them should have been given. So that was pretty frustrating. Every player seemed to get yellow carded left, right, and centre. And the referee really wanted to get involved because you got in front of the attacks about 2 or 3 times and stopping the play, especially when we were on the attack as well, which was annoying. So I think she's probably going to I wouldn't be surprised if she got one of the lowest scores we've given a referee this season. I mean, don't get me wrong, we should have buried the game in the first half. Got to give their keeper credit. He gave a couple of good saves. But yeah, for us, it was 2 points dropped, and St Albans celebrated, like they'd won the game, which all honesty, they deserved to, because they deserved a point out of it in the end. They worked ever so hard second half and made it very tough for us. And I think if they can play like that second half, going into the next few weeks, then they'll get out of the situation they're in at the moment. So I wish them all the best, because St Albans I've got a lot of time for. They're a good club. They always look after us really well when we go there. So I do hope they get out of that situation. But yeah, 2 points dropped in my opinion.
I'm loving a feisty side, Benny. A little bit of ant rant in you.
It's not quite. I know I could go further, but I thought
got a bit sassy, Ben. No.
Oh, I could get more sass. I mean, trust me, I haven't got to Monday's one
yet. So. Before we get to Monday's games, Graham has put Papa Papadopoulos sounds like a Madonna song. We can make it work.
Could we to stand for all we know? We still haven't quite got a chant for him yet. I think we need one. They might keep him. So we need to do more to try and get him on our side. So we need to try and think.
Get Ant on it. He did Key and Hayes' song, but then he came back and left. So
so that's basically an omen, isn't it? Don't come up with chant for him. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it is always that thing of never falling in love with a lone player, and I think we're starting to do that with him. Yeah. And that's the thing. We've got a few players in that forward area that are on loan at the moment, so we can't afford to fall in love with them because we know at any point they could get called back. So we're trying to keep our feet on the ground.
Have you got any more names so I can write them down?
I'm good at Papadopoulos, so I think that's the best you're going to get from us. A lot of our
I remember that name anyway.
Oh yeah, we have some good chance with the players, but yeah, he deserves one, to be fair, for what he's put in the last couple of months with us. So hopefully they'll get one before he moves back to Crawley, or if we can keep on hold of him. So we'll see.
On to Monday's games then. I mean, away wins.
4 away wins as well. I didn't actually. And then we were saying about teams don't like travelling on a Tuesday night, don't we? In the was it League 2 of the National League? So it makes a bit of a change. Yeah. Well, in all honesty, though, AD's only just up the road for us. Technically, it's only just over the Dartford Bridge, so it's a nice, easy one to get to when the traffic's on our side. Because this was one of the rearranged games from the traffic that was caused last time. But that was a very commanding performance from us. We fully deserved it. I was, AV, we still owe him a little bit, even though we beat him in the playoffs, eliminated last season. We still feel like we owed them. They beat us. They took 6 points off us last year. They mugged us off a little bit. They are one of those clubs that are pretty shithouse, to be honest, in the way they go about their business and everything like that. They're one of the I think they're the only side I've come across in our division that don't provide a team sheet, which is a bit annoying. I think a few clubs in our league complained about it. So luckily I could go off their Twitter, but if they only put surnames up, then don't expect any good tweets, about your players, because you have to give me the full names for it. And
just make them up.
I'll make them up. Yeah, because honestly, I'll get into it probably right at the end. But I think we approached it, as well as we should have done. We started with the front three that finished the game on Saturday, so. We brought in, we brought back actually Matt Rush from Sutton United, who was with us last season. We brought him on loan to the end of the season. Scored over a dozen goals for us. Made a massive impact in us getting into the playoffs, and against his old club as well. Gets his first goal, and bear in mind he was disallowed twice on Saturday. He wasn't to be denied this time. Bit of a scruffy goal, took a bit of a deflection, and I maybe thought the keeper could have done a little bit better, but we needed that bit of luck. And then, just shortly before half time, we had a chance to make it 2-0. The handball inside the box got us a penalty. It's very reliable, normally from the spot. Sam Cord stepped up, and that was his first one of the season, I think. And this time it was saved. I mean, our normal penalty taker this season, Ben Brooks, was on the bench, so obviously he didn't step up for it. But to be fair, it was a good save from the keeper. It sort of kept him in it a little bit. And, you do have that fear in the back of your mind, because the trouble is we seem to like holding on a 1-goal lead. And it's not held us in good stead, because we've dropped far too many points this season. We've drawn too many games, and you just think we need that second goal. And it took a lot longer than we hoped for it to come. It took about to the last quarter of an hour before we got it. A lovely cross from Ben Brooks, free kick. The tall, ever present, Reece Greenwich heading it back for George Fowler, one of our podcast favourites, obviously. Helped us out there when we were promoting the awards. Yeah, tapped in sort of about 5 yards out. He always gets 1 goal a season, so that's his 1 goal of the season out of the way. Early, and we wait till later on the season, so it's a bit of a change this time round.
It might get 2 now.
Hopefully, we haven't seen it yet. He's been here for 3 years now, so hopefully that'll be the case. And then got a third goal just shortly before the end. Matt Bentley, he's been a bit frustrated in recent weeks with his shooting, and it had a little bit of luck on his side because the keeper fumbled it and sort of crept over the line. These tweets were quite interesting though when they said that it was a ghost goal, and I think, well, how can they do that? The guy was sitting next to me, and we were both 80 yards away from it, so I don't know how he could determine that it wasn't a goal. I mean, I don't even know if it was a goal because we didn't have the camera. The camera didn't really tell us so much. So, but again, the linesman, seemed quite confident of it today. Although he didn't flag for it, he clearly said to the referee in the headset, very quick to say it was a goal, and it just made the score look a little bit more glamorous and puts our goal difference up a little bit. Cracking win for us. Their fans were very, very angry. Put it that way, because where the press area set, all their fans can stand behind us, like literally right behind us, because their bar's right behind as well. And a few were getting very, very aggy with the decisions that were going against them. Basically, decisions that were going against us on Saturday. A few of them were using very colourful language and that, particularly one who didn't like Anthony Papadopoulos in front of us. It seemed to be every time he got the ball, he'd throw abuse at him. And I'll say to our cameraman next to us, I hope we score next because he's going to get it. And as soon as he scored, and we just he gets up and walks away. I think he went back to the bar afterwards. I don't think I saw him for the rest of the match either. So, great 3 points. And as Chris said, puts us in the top 10 now. Hopefully that means we can stay there and push further on now because we need to get back in those playoffs. But I think that's 12 unbeaten now in the league. We're unbeaten in 3 months. We're still the only side in the division that haven't lost away from home yet, which I don't think we've ever got to this stage of the season with that record before. So I've never known of. Hopefully we can keep that going. But the trouble is, next one's obviously most difficult because it's our longest away trip of the season to Truro, and they're the league leaders. So if our record's going to come to an end, it's probably going to be against them. But who knows?
Got to beat them.
Well, hopefully. I mean, the players staying overnight. That's the thing. It's one of those, actually, if we win, it really does put us back in contention because, we still have a game in hand over Truro as well. So if we win, it cuts it down to 5 points and win there, we cut it down to 2 points. Obviously, I know games, teams above are bound to win as well. But, we just need to make sure we go there and don't lose. I think that's the thing. If we want to still have an outside chance on the title, we need to not lose there. But the main thing is, can we get something down there? It's going to be difficult. We've got that, and then we've got Salisbury on the Tuesday night as well. So it's 2 long away trips for us. But if we can get a good 4 points out of that, I think we'll be very pleased with it. So just want to keep this unbeaten, run going because it's been absolutely brilliant so far. And Jules has to huge amount of credit for what he's done so far. Because he was a man that was wanted out after we lost 5-1 to Chelmsford. Yeah. So then he's put a lot of resilience in this team, and so albeit a lot of the games we've drawn, we've drawn nearly half our games, which obviously isn't good enough. But at the same time, we've only lost 3 out of the 19 games we've played so far. So it's not a bad record to have. So we've got to make sure that, we push on and, hopefully before Christmas or maybe just after Christmas, we get back in the playoff places because I want to be able to hear our name when you're reading the table out, Shah. It's getting a bit annoying now. We're not having it read out because of where we sit in the moment.
I think you're in capitals, though.
We are still in capitals, though. That's the main thing, yeah.
I just wanted to clarify as well. I'm hoping Sean meant when them fans were calling Papadopoulos and not me, saying that you are going to be Truro when he said chat rubbish, end up looking like a mug.
Yeah, I always use the language I always use it to be better towards the guy and that, but you give it out, you got to be able to take it back. That's the thing. That's how football works. Even if it doesn't matter if you're a cup official or not, I'll still have my say.
And then you've got Graham saying Salisbury will be plain sailing, Ben.
As long as the game's on, I don't care, to be honest, this time round. I don't want to go there for nothing. Don't want a 2 trip. Don't want a 3rd trip down there.
As we mentioned, we have all away wins on here. I wanted to give another shout out. I know I keep doing it with Worthing, but Danny Cashman and his form at the minute and the way he's playing, I'm so happy for him. What a guy. Just wanted to give him another mention. Doing well.
I will give credit for Bournemouth as well because they came out from 2-0 down in that game as well against Chelmsford and they were down and out. I think they got 2 goals in the last 10 minutes as well. So big win for Luke Garrard, and that's not an easy place to go, Chelmsford. So they'll be delighted with that.
It's time. It's time. You're coming up then. You're creeping up that table. You're in capitals, though. That is the main thing. That's the start. That is the start.
Yes, it is.
So,
Champions by Christmas.
yes, that's the spirit. So, top of National League South, we have Truro City on 38 points. Western-super-Mare a second on 37 points. Torquay United a third on 37 points. Farnborough a fourth on 36 points. Worthing are fifth on 35 points. Eastbourne a sixth, also on 35 points. And the man, the myth, the legend, Mark White's Torquay Wanderers. Sorry, Ben. I love Maidstone more, though, obviously. I just love Mark White.
Oh, yeah, we know, yeah.
I do. I promise.
Just like I love Oldham more than Rochdale, eh?
Oh, that was a low blow. Maybe next time I will put you not in capitals, even if you are in capitals.
Oh, no, don't do that to me. It's all I've got left.
Dorking are seventh on 34 points. And then in the relegation zone, we have in 21st at Averley on 15 points. St Albans City are 22nd on 13 points. Weymouth are 23rd on 12 points, and Enfield Town are bottom of National League South on 11 points. But next week it'll be Maidstone there because of that Oldham comment.
20-point deduction handed out by Shah.
Just for liking Oldham more.
I was going to go hashtag away.
Why not?
So the FA Cup. What I'm going to do first, Uncle Nick, because it is a very, very long report, I'm going to read out Rebecca's for the Accrington Swindon game, if that's okay, if I can find it. I hope I can. There we are. So she has put, first, happy birthday, Seb Quirk. And then she's put, now to the match report, Accrington versus Swindon. What a hectic match that was. Both sides started quick with Swindon challenging, but the shot was dragged wide. Accrington took the lead through Tyler Walton after Swindon struggled to clear the ball. Swindon did go a man down, with Daniel Butterworth receiving a straight red for his challenge on Liam Coyle in the 41st minute. Swindon equalised on the stroke of half-time through Grant Hall, a very annoying goal from a Stanley perspective to concede. Second half, and Swindon came out fighting, and they were the better side. We did have chances through Dara Costello, but nothing that challenged Jack Bycroft. Swindon were awarded a penalty in the 63rd minute. What a save from Billy Crellin, denying Harry Smith to keep us in the match. Swindon did then take the lead through Joe Cottrell, and I do have to say it was a great strike. Tyler Walton netted his second in the 91st minute to take it to extra time. Extra time, I'll be honest, don't remember much. I was too stressed. There were a few chances for both sides, but I do think we have both accepted penalties. Billy Crellin, take a bow, our penalty hero, saving 2 out of 3 of Swindon's penalties. Stanley had a 17-year-old Angela Papula step up for the first pen, and the confidence in him is incredible. We also had Jimmy Knowles, Ben Woods, and Nelson Kumbeni. Is it Kumbeni?
Kumbeni, yeah.
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 I got it right up there as well.
Right.
So I'm glad I did. Score their pens. Huge win for us, and in the next round is Liverpool away, which I'm still in shock with. It will be an incredible experience for the fans and the players, as seen through Josh Wood's reaction to the draw, which is one of the most incredible videos I've ever seen. And it just shows how magic the FA Cup is. That was Rebecca's match analysis. Uncle Nick, what was yours?
I think she's obviously summed it up really well.
Yeah.
We had the chances to win the game. We probably should have won the game. It's just defensively, again, we're just so poor. If you don't, defenses win your games win your trophies. We're not too bad at scoring, but we just can't defend. And yeah, penalties are a lottery, but I think that was the first penalty we've scored in a shootout in either the FA Cup or the League Cup. Every other ones we've missed. So we're worse than England with penalties. But yeah, at the end of the day, you get what you deserve, don't you? We had the chances to win it, 2-1 up, going into stoppage time. You expect to win, but fair play to Aki, and I say I hope they have a fantastic journey up to Liverpool. Enjoy the game. I guess Liverpool will probably put out a few youngsters. We're sure the likes of Salah and Van Dijk and the likes probably won't play, but which isn't a bad thing for Aki. But they'll make a shed load of money out of it. That's probably going to be worth. It must be a few 100,000. It's that sort of money can keep a club alive. So yeah, good luck. Wish him well.
Oh, I love that. Uncle
No, I mean
Nick.
that as well. I do. I wish.
No,
him well.
I know. I love that. Graham has put as well, Liverpool versus Accrington needs some milk sponsorship for the heritage. It is associated with those clubs for those old enough to remember. Before I come to you, Jen, Sam, any standouts on here for you?
Probably on that sheet that you've got there, Crawley 3, Lincoln 4 was a bit of a game.
Yeah.
Lincoln had to come from behind in that one, so not probably sort of as high profile. So some of the upsets that were in there, but a really good kind of turnaround from Lincoln in a 4-3 classic stirring comeback. So they got back in there, and obviously Crawley then scored again late to make it a bit nervy towards the end. But really good one for Lincoln. Lincoln always one that seems to do well in the FA Cup. There's always the teams that seem every season to have a bit of a. Lincoln seem to be one of those. Obviously had a brilliant cup run the other season. So, yeah, really good result, I thought, for Lincoln and Crawley, and an exciting game to boot.
Ben, any standouts for you?
There's not really too many in terms of shocks, but obviously it's going to be mentioned, but Leighton Orient, the way they finished their game against Oldham, Keeper scored a last-minute goal, and then it was cracking header actually, and then obviously they scored at the
very
end. Good. That's the thing. I couldn't have been any more heartbreaking. That's a long old journey back for those Oldham fans after seeing that. So yeah, I do feel a little bit for them, because that's no way to lose a game of football against our 2 divisions above them as well. That would have been a great win for them, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. I'll give a shout out actually. I know they didn't win the game, but Wealdstone, tell you what, they put in a good shift against Wickham. I watched the first half, and they had 2 big chances, to take the lead, and had that happened, it could have been a completely different story. But once Wickham scored that cracking free kick, it was only going one way, to be fair. And it was a nice little touch. I saw that was the second goal scored. Richard Kone, is it? He was only playing Essex Senior League at the beginning of this year, and he's now scored in the FA Cup second round for a League One side. It just shows again the magic of the FA Cup. So yeah, it's good for them, and I think I saw a comment as well that they're unbeaten now since the 10th of October, which is absolutely incredible. Mad. It's a mad run they're on, but even in the league as well. That's
exactly.
That's 4 months now unbeaten almost. So yeah, tell you what, they deserve all the plaudits they get at the moment, because they're getting the job done.
Just wanted to come to this one as well, bless him, Chris. I know we have our banter, but he has actually put Orient versus Latics. Latics were incredibly unlucky, deserve more. However, referee found 8 minutes of added time in the second half was staggering. 9th minute of added time, goalless shoulders are balling. Do you know what? They were very unlucky, Oldham, and they did play very, very well from what I saw as well. So, devastating. He said as well, Orient dominated extra time and missed a penalty. Heading for pens, then we forgot to defend at a corner last minute. Devastated. Onwards to the league. We have got quickly in the chat as well before we do get to Markham. Whoop, whoop. I'm excited. Sean has put Peterborough versus Notts County looked a decent game for my sins.
There was a cracking on goal in that game, I'm pretty sure, as well.
Yeah. Bless him. He's not having a very good time, really, is he? Chris put cheers, Shah. But Jen, I want to know about your game because I'm buzzing. Woo!
Oh, honestly, it was one of them games where it was getting to like the 70th minute, and I was like, "Can someone just score? I can't do extra time. I can't do penalties. My stress levels will be through the roof. Can't do it." And then they got one of their players sent off, which their manager came out afterwards and said that it wasn't a red card. I'm sorry, but you've pushed one of our players into the barrier. It's a red card. Whether you like it or not, you do not push a player into the barriers. If he would have gone over onto the concrete floor, he could have seriously injured himself. So I think they definitely deserved that red card. And then that completely changed the game for us. And it was only going to be the person who got pushed into the barriers to score the winner. And it was Jordan Slew. And it felt like incredible because of everything that's going on off pitch. We all said as fans, all we want to do is get to the third round and get a big team. Because obviously we've been there before, we've done Spurs, and that was one of the most unbelievable days we've ever done. The money we got from that was incredible. The money that we're going to get from Chelsea, the gate money, I think so far, we're going to get about 4,000 tickets. That's going to sell out. We're obviously going to get the gate money from Chelsea. They're probably going to give us some more money as well. So I think for the FA Cup, it's huge money-wise for us. But we was meant to play Chelsea in the FA Cup during COVID. And we obviously still played, but obviously we couldn't go as fans. So that was our first Premier League club that we were going to get. So we were obviously all gutted afterwards. We want to go and experience it and experience a Premier League club. We know we're probably not going to win, but we're all going to go there and have a great time because that's what we deserve after everything. So to get Chelsea again, it just felt like we deserved this because we obviously missed out on it. And to be able to go to a Premier League ground, as Morecambe fans, as the players are just buzzing because they know they're not just football. It's they are fans at the end of the day. And they probably sit there at the weekend and watch these games and they're now thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be on that pitch and I'm going to see behind the scenes. And Cole Palmer probably won't play, but he might be there. And for some of the players, it could be incredible for them to meet him. And hopefully the players swap shirts with our players because I think that could be a moment for them that a lot of them will remember for a very, very long time. So I think I'm very, very, very happy with the FA Cup win. I just think it's what we needed. It's what the fans deserved. It's going to be an amazing day out. I generally cannot wait to go down there because we usually go down the day before, stay over and then go to the game. So it's going to be a full weekend of just being in London with your friends and going to watch the football and just having a good time and experiencing the Premier League club because for us, we don't get that often. And I think that can be lost with Premier League fans that they get that every week. Whereas we don't get that experience. So I'm excited for January now. Can't wait to go. And I think it's just going to be incredible. Whatever happens. I just know we're going to create memories for life when we go there.
I love that, though, because I feel like with all the fans and how much you've stuck by, obviously, the club, and then even the players and the manager as well. And I think you're so deserving of this draw. And like you said, you had it in the COVID season, couldn't go. And honestly, from the start of this podcast, I love a good draw. And I actually cheered when it came out. I was like, yes, come on. I was just
it was so stressful because obviously Liam was at home and he was obviously putting the tweet out for the game. Yeah. So he was obviously sat there watching the draw, then celebrating, and then having to go and try and get it all out on social. So he was a little bit stressed, but I think it's going to be an experience for everyone going there. When we went to Spurs, it was just one of them days that you still think about now, how did we get there? Even if we just scored one goal like we did at Spurs, I would love to experience that all over again. I generally cannot wait to go. And I just know the players are going to be absolutely buzzing when they get on that coach down there.
I love that. You're going to piss it, Jen. You're going to beat them.
Rubbish.
I'm going to get a top with Got to miss
Has there
it.
been any chat though about potentially, any protests though? That's the thing, because this would be.
Yeah.
I know obviously you want to enjoy the day, but this is a good chance really to show everyone what's going on, because obviously there'd be so many Chelsea fans watching. I think that'd be a great chance to show your frustrations to the owner. Obviously, enjoy it obviously as much as you can, but I think to get the message out there, I think this is no better opportunity. But particularly if the game does get picked for TV, which I'd like to think it does. So, has there been any chat about that at all, Jen?
Yeah, they have put a little tweet post out saying that they are in discussions about doing something for Chelsea, whether on TV or not. That's probably going to be a full capacity game. It's our time to get it out, even if we're not on TV. Some of the Chelsea fans have even replied to the 1920 Union and said, what can we do as Chelsea fans? Good. And I think that's obviously amazing because they're Premier League clubs. They don't see what lower league clubs go through. But I think we're definitely planning something, because we can't not do it when you've got a big club like that. But I think they're thinking about it right now, and then obviously further down the line, closer to the game, I can update on what they're doing. But I think it's definitely needed against a club like that, especially if we're on TV, because that could be huge.
I'm so happy for you. Honestly, I was so chuffed. I actually jumped up. I was like, yes, go on.
Yeah, I screamed. I definitely screamed. I definitely let her scream. My neighbours were probably like, what the hell's going on in that house? Because both me and Leah were just screaming. It was just like, oh my God.
We have Dietrich as well. Obviously, she was on the other side. She lost.
I didn't want it to be Bradford. Anyone put Bradford?
I know. She put, I'm so gutted that we didn't progress into the third round. It wasn't our day, unfortunately. It is what it is. It was Neil Byrne who was sent off, former Stockport player. And then she's put a fair play to Markham. My favourite game that I've seen for us was Chelsea away, and it's been 10 years since that incredible day in January. Oh, and then Graham has put, fun fact, I had Steve Coppell sat in front of me at Stamford Bridge one year when I went there watching us play. Oh, you never know.
Yeah, never know. It could happen.
You never know. Right, so we do have another set of fixtures. So Sam, the FA Cup man. No.
just all occasions, whatever the trophy, whatever the league, I'll just appear anywhere and talk nonsense about it.
Any standouts for you on here?
Yeah, for that one, I'll leave the other one to somebody else. But obviously, the upset there with Dagenham and Redbridge. Dagen Red. It was funny enough when I was young. I used to think it was all one word, and I used to think they were Dragon Red. I thought they were from Wales.
I love it.
When I was young, but brilliant win for them. It's AFC Wimbledon and getting through for them to the third round for a non-league side to make it. So I mean, great to go and do it there as well. I think obviously AFC Wimbledon coming up through the leagues. Now to be an established league club. So I think they got Millwall, is that right, in the third round draw? Dagen Red got Millwall away. So I mean, say Championship club and something for them to look forward to. So yeah, I always like the FA Cup third rounds as well. It's a big thing, even though obviously I always like the giant killings and that opportunity to see that chance and to see lower league teams get their day sometimes as well. So we've been stung once or twice in the past ourselves. So yeah, it's a great day. But yeah, Dagen Red for me. Dagen Red.
Or Dragon Red.
Dragon Reds. Come on, you Dragon Reds.
Come on, you dragons. Jen, any standouts for you on here?
It's got to be Kettering and Doncaster Rovers. Obviously, it went to extra time and Doncaster Rovers did win. There's been this huge discussion on Twitter this past week about these games that have gone to extra time, because obviously these lower league teams could benefit massively from replays, and they've obviously been scrapped. So I think as a Kettering fan, I would be gutted, because they really went in there full force and give it their all. And I just think it's not fair to be scrapping these replays at all. I think that could have been amazing money wise for Kettering if they managed to take it, and it's just sad that they've been scrapped. It's just awful.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And then we've got the National League Cup instead. Woo!
Yay!
Yay! I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. Sarcasm. Uncle Nick, any standouts for you on here?
Oh, you're on mute, Nick.
It's muted. It doesn't
You're
go.
Bless him.
So yeah, what's the FA Cup? I don't even know what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, obviously Tamworth
Yes.
going through on pens against Burton. Yeah, I think it's already been mentioned. Dagenham that's a big win at Wimbledon because Wimbledon are quite a decent side. So, and I don't know what happened to Walsall getting stuff 4-0 owned by Charlton. That's quite a surprise.
I know.
For that sort of scoreline, with the way Charlton haven't been great and Walsall have been flying. So whether they put out a weakened team, I wouldn't have thought so. But yeah, quite a surprise we thought that for 4-0 scoreline at Walsall.
Ben, last but not least, any standouts for you on here?
Yeah, obviously Tam was I think the obvious one for me, to be a League One side. And again, then there'll be that argument. People say, well, Tam have won, so obviously why is everyone complaining about no FA Cup replays? But I'm on Jen's side on this. That a few sides have been denied of that. That would have been a nice money spin of that for Kettering to go away to Doncaster Rovers. And to be fair, Kettering worked really, like what Jen said, worked really hard. First half, they battered Doncaster, and then Doncaster turned up to lose a little bit, and fitness showed in the end. And that's the unfair thing. In fact, these sides are going to have obviously the advantage over the lower clubs because they've got that extra fitness. And same thing for Harbour as well, because again, Harbour have been denied out of a replay as well, 3-3 after 90 minutes in that game. And who knows? I think, to be fair, had they taken them back to their place, I would have fancied Harbour, to be fair, on their own patch. But the fact that even when I think they finished with 10 men as well, Reddings, and but again, it's one of those where I think the fitness did show for them in the end. But what a terrific run from the cup run from Harbour, and score 3 goals in the next Premier League side. They'll have nothing but great memories from this cup run. So I'm truly gutted for them, and this them and Kettering are the two sides I feel so sorry for, because they should have been getting another game under the lights, maybe TV games as well. They've been denied of it. And, I can always say thank you, FA, for ruining the FA Cup on this occasion. So I need to say on the matter.
I just wanted to point out as well, because I remember that angry Solihull fan coming in last week saying, why do we hate on Solihull? So I think my standout is Bromley too. Solihull won. Just for his benefit. Sorry, I'm in one of them moods tonight. Chris said was watching a Wimbledon versus Dagenham game on ITVX online. After 15 minutes, the ref picked up an injury.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. But they had to get someone from the crowd in actually to be the fourth official, I think, as well. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. We haven't had one of those for quite a while. I love those. I love those stories.
Graham has put, the cynic in me notices the lower league teams getting dream away day matches after replays are scrapped, even though it's a random draw.
Yeah, I thought that. Look at all the League Two sides going basically to the Prem.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Oh, how does that happen?
Exactly.
It's definitely rigged this year. Done like the third round draw. Awful draw.
I know. Out of all of them, and then United Arsenal.
Oh my God.
Banning corners in this one, not allowed.
Yeah.
It just shows though, like, how is your luck? That's the thing. Look, the fact that we got in 3 draws with the Premier League sides last year, nothing. And then as soon as Tamworth and Bromley and that all get in there, get the biggest day out of their lives. And those, I hate the draws. Everyone keeps saying it should be seeded. Look, I am one of those. I don't think it should be seeded. The FA Cup draw is what it is. It's the excitement of it. You don't want to feel like you're going to be guaranteed playing a top side. That's the thing. That's the beauty of it. Because otherwise you won't get the reactions like you saw with Josh Woods with Accrington. So it's just the luck of the draw which we didn't have, unfortunately. But I'm delighted for those clubs, like say the likes of Morecambe. It pains me to say it, but for Bromley that's going to be an incredible day out for them. They've had some really good days out in their recent history. So to go to Newcastle away is going to be a tremendous day out for them. But for Tamworth at home against Tottenham, they are going to probably lose the game, but again they're probably their best chances to win the game. On the night down there. So
Or do they
Yeah, obviously, I hope.
the way Tottenham
Yeah, well,
play, you never know.
You never know. This is the thing.
If there's a team that would do it, they're the ones.
Yeah.
Well, look, I always go back to like Kidderminster Harriers when they were like seconds away from beating West Ham, and that they played so well that day. It all depends on the day. If it's a Friday night game or something like that, then who knows? It might be on their side again because Tamworth have been up for the cup. They've beaten 2 League One sides already, so I know it's a big comparison to seeing that in the Premier League, but. I mean, again, as well, they're a part-time side as well, I'm pretty sure. So, that's incredible for their club. And we're listening to, what their goalkeeper does for a job and everything like that, and how he works around football and stuff. It's a proper FA Cup story with them. So I hope they give a good account of themselves against Spurs, and they fully deserve it, and you just hope, though, for them, it won't get in the way of their league form, which I dare say it will, because no one will want to get injured for that biggest game of their careers. And that's the thing. That's what Nick was saying earlier about, will that take some of the League Two sides off the pace in that, because they'll be thinking about playing those Premier League sides. They're only human. I think it's going to happen, but it's still either way. I think you wouldn't want to miss the biggest game of history because, like I say, it could be a once in a lifetime thing. You might not ever get this again, so you got to make the most out of it while you can.
Yeah,
completely agree. This as well. Man City could be upset by Salford after the form Man City were on. How many United fans are going to try and get on that though? Like a
that's going to be a TV game, isn't it? That's going to be a TV game, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's 100%. I said that same. I was like, yeah, that's going to be a TV game.
Yeah. There's a Man United influence on that. Gary Neville will have some sort of influence over that. He will.
Yeah.
Like they need the money anyway.
Both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just yeah, everyone's saying guarantee City Salford will be on TV. Yes, probably. But of course, that is the end of a football chat. But I know Sam wanted to say a few words about the sad news that did happen today at Manchester United.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry, I know it's the lower league show, but I did ask if I could have a moment to, because I don't often talk about, say, a heartfelt story with regard to my club. Obviously, Manchester United, not a lower league club by any means, but I want to pay tribute to a wonderful woman in football. Kath Phipps sadly passed away today at 85. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Kath, she's a lifelong Manchester United fan. She's given pretty much her whole life to the club. Anybody who sort of knows anything about Manchester United or any fans know who this woman is. She's the most lovely front of house receptionist. She did a number of roles sort of within the club and has always been recognised by anybody who's been involved with the club in terms of media, players, managers, everything. She's well known amongst the United community as a wonderful, kind-hearted person in football, giving her all to the club that she loves. And so now Manchester United, they don't always make me proud as a fan. They don't always represent the best of English football. And I completely understand people don't like them. And particularly the lower league clubs see them in a completely different way. But we have people at our clubs who are just the best of the best, and their reputation stands above the club and all, and is loved by all within it. Like any football club, it's a family. There are people that transcend football, particularly behind the scenes. And any Man United fan has heard countless heartfelt stories about Kath. And there were some beautiful tributes that came in today from players, past and current, about her influence, which was so heartwarming. So just a couple I wanted to share with you. So Peter Schmeichel in particular said, "Going to miss you so much. Thanks for being you, for always looking after me, and not least for opening Old Trafford up. When I as a young man, unannounced, came into your reception asking if it was possible to see the pitch for just 1 minute. You had no idea who I was, no idea that one day I'll be playing for your beloved team. You got the gate opened, and I got my first glimpse at the most beautiful football stadium in the world. The time I didn't know I'd spend most afternoons sat next to you, sorting out my fan mail, having a cup of tea and a chat. Manchester United through and through, with the heart and soul of the club ingrained in you. That's how I remember you. Coming to Old Trafford in the future will be different from now on. Rest in peace, Kath." And this one I found quite telling because it came from Jadon Sancho, who's a player at Manchester United that hasn't left in a good way. It's pretty frosty between him and some of the fans. But even he messaged about Kath and said, "I'm grateful I had the pleasure of meeting you. Such a lovely, kind-hearted soul. She always made sure I was okay and always put a smile on my face whenever I felt down. I appreciate you, Kath." And so any visitor to Carrington was greeted by the cheeriest of welcomes. She came to embody the sort of family atmosphere that was felt by United fans, particularly during the Fergie era. And one story just showed the love and the respect she was given by the club as well, and particularly Sir Alex Ferguson during that time. He took his squad along to the funeral to pay their respects to her husband when he sadly passed away, to stand in solidarity with her. in the 2020's pandemic lockdown. The players visited her. The staff members wanted to ensure she had company. And in 2022, she was recognised by the League Managers Association with a Service to Football Award, public tributes from David Beckham, Gary Neville and many other Manchester United players. So she became an enigma amongst fans, loved amongst the community, players, staff and media and visitors. And so I'd personally been touched by the tributes to her today. So just wanted to pay my own very quickly. So thank you.
Yeah, that's brilliant, Sam. Can I just sort of jump on the back of that? And I'm sure it's the same for all clubs that are having issues with their ownership in the way the clubs are being run. Obviously tonight I've been critical of Swindon's ownership, but all along everybody who's criticised it Swindon, and they say I'm sure it's the same at other clubs, they've always pointed out that it's not against the hard-working people that do the day-to-day stuff at the clubs. Any protest is against the senior owners and management, and we all recognise that the people work under probably quite difficult conditions, but they've got a love for their clubs and they do everything they can, and they're sort of the unsung heroes. So it was great to hear that Sam, and I'm sure there's that person in every club across football. And it's great that people get the recognition that they deserve.
100% agree.
That's the thing. Like owners and players, they come and go in that, but people within the club, they stay. That's the thing. They become lifelong fans of the club. And for someone like Kath, who's obviously dedicated a lot to Manchester United. Like I say, we see it at every club. You always got that one or two people that have been there for so long and do so much for their club. Yeah. It is what makes football what it is, and that's why it's such a family community, because everyone knows each other. And that's the thing, as big as Man United are, it's a big enough fan base that knows everything about, Kath and, what she did for the club. So, that's the thing. I think, we all on the podcast would say, thoughts are with our friends and family at this terrible time. And, that's the thing. It's brilliant to hear stories like that, and the fact that even the players show their appreciation as well. It doesn't matter the amount of money they're on; they care about the people that work at their football club. So it's great to see.
What an amazing lady though, as well. Like to have all them people like say them kind words and stuff about her. Like I'm choked up now. Like I don't even know her personally, but just from them tributes, like what an amazing person she must have been.
It's mad how many stories, and so not just players and like massive personalities, but even people like media people, like the most random person. Yeah. There's someone telling a story about how they spent an hour trying to find this guy a cup of water that had come into reception. Like she would literally, so you could tell she just treated everybody the same, whether you were a manager, a player, or whatever. Just wanted to be a good person and to do the best for her club and to help the person she was with. Such a positive sort of a person, and an absolute legend of the club, seen by everybody. So it's so touching she gets that recognition today. As you say, hopefully everyone who has a similar person at their own club, sees that recognition as well for them.
Definitely. Oh, I love that. Like, rest in peace, Kathleen. What a lovely woman she sounded. What a lovely woman. But of course, that is the end of our football chat. I mean, we must have covered every league. Every league going. FA Cup, every cup competition. Oh, this is really lovely as well. Chris has put people like Kath are salt of the earth and make football what it is today. Completely agree with that. Like, no matter how much money is involved in football, those are the people like who make football and like the fans and stuff, but the people who dedicate like their whole lives just to being a good person and just doing something they love as well. Like she was a lifelong Manchester United fan. So how incredible must that have been? Like being there, working there, but just having such a positive impact in the world. And I love that. I love that so much. This as well, Dietrich put, every time I've watched something related to United, I've always heard people talking about how amazing Kath was. I love that. Graham has covered it all because we had Sam, but every league and FA Cup man here. I know.
We did Europe as well on Monday. I think I've done about 15 leagues this week, so I don't know where I am.
Surprised you didn't pop up on WSL.
Exactly, yeah, that's it.
But of course, Sam, the every league man. Sorry, I'll let you have your drink first. Where can we find you?
Where can you find me?
Everywhere.
Everywhere, to any league, yeah. Belgian league, maybe at the weekend, who knows? You find me at Sam Absolute FBL on Twitter. And I'm going to do some stuff on my EFL channel, my YouTube channel soon, but plenty of stuff prepping at the minute for the podcast for some exciting stuff next year. So, yeah, all that. But if you want to catch me, I'm at Sam Absolute FBL on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, that blue sky thing. Not that I really know what I'm doing. I'm just copying and pasting what I write on Twitter and seeing what happens.
And apparently you did join.
I joined the chat just in time for Paul's accents and then his rendition of Michael Sheen's Welsh inspirational speech for the women's football. So it was an interesting time to join the chat.
Time to join. Thank you so much for joining us as well, Sam. We really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Jen, where can everybody find you?
So you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the good stuff. It's Jen _ no, it's not. Jen _ I'm tired. I need to go to bed.
Who am I? Where am I?
Get there in the morning. Jen Hunt _ on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the good stuff. You can find me there.
Love that. And Uncle Nick, where can anybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter, road _ Ocus. And if you want to check out what's happening with the protest, check out the Spirit of 69, which is, you'll find all the information on there, what's going on. So that's the place to look for that if you want to keep up to date with the protests.
I just wanted to say as well, I actually messaged after last week's podcast. I messaged the account and I just said, basically, is there anything I can do to help? And they've said, just share it, just spread the word out and just keep, obviously, just talking about it. So if you could do that in the chat, everybody, and the same with Markham as well, it would be much appreciated because it's so surprising who it could reach and just where around the world it could reach and who actually has eyes for it and sees it, like in the journalist world and the media world. So please, if you can, please do that because they have specifically asked if we could. Ben, sorry, Nick, Uncle Nick.
No, that's real.
Ben, apart from bottom of the league next week, where can everybody find you?
I'll keep it short and sweet then. Ben Stones FC1 on Twitter. I was about to do the wrong place again. There we go. Yeah, done it.
Karma. Do you like Oldham? Yay! And if anybody wants to find me, I'm SharXREFC. That is on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. I'm with it. It's very nice on Blue Sky, though. It's very chilled at the minute. Yeah, so I'm liking it. It's very peaceful and great for the mental headspace. No trolls yet. But of course, this is loving your work, Ben. I think that's because you bigged up Oldham.
Oh, thanks.
Remember who your friends are, though, Ben. Remember.
I didn't know I had friends.
I'm one of them, remember, so you prefer Rochdale.
Yeah.
But the most important one, we are the Absolute Football Podcast. And as you can see, we won Best New Content Creator at the Football Content Awards. Whoop, whoop. And I know, look at all of our lovely faces. Still got a few more additions to add, but look at us. What a family. What a family. So on Twitter, because I don't like to call it X, it will never be X to me. Yeah. We are Absolute Ball Pod. On YouTube and Twitch, we have an Absolute Football Podcast. On TikTok, we are Absolute Football Pod. On Instagram and Threads, we are Absolute Football Podcast _ On Blue Sky, we are Absolute Football. And then on Facebook, we have an Absolute Football Podcast. On a Monday, you can find us as Absolutely Premier League and European Show. On a Wednesday, we are Absolutely Women's Football. And then on a Thursday, we are Absolutely Lower League. And we cover the EFL Championship, League One, League Two, National League North and South, and any other football that's going on. I mean, we might even cover pub teams next season. Who knows? It's getting to the point we just love talking football. But yeah, we have Absolute Football Podcast, and I just wanted to say thank you so much to everybody who's joined us tonight. As usual, you make the chat. We love interacting with you. Thank you for your kind words. You are all amazing, and have a lovely weekend, and bye for now. Bye everyone.